If- ah. Greetings and welcome. I am Joffrey, and today I am joined by Jocko, one of the lead developers on the Realms and Exile dev team. We were going to have the team lead today, Jamie, as well. However, he is a bit sick and got sudden work plans at the same time, which is kind of the general vibe of his daily life, it seems. So he's going to try to be here for at least some of these, but we'll see if he can manage to not get scooped up or made sick. It's typical British things, you know. But today we are discussing the administrative government. I have not looked at this dev diary at all, but Jocko here with me, as soon as I give him a chance to speak, has read through it because he's such an eager beaver. Um,
Yes.
so And apparently it's only part one of the administrative government, and yet he tells me that it is a very long one. So,
It is insanely long. It probably took me like 25 to 30 minutes to read through it.
25 minutes to do anything? You're one of the fastest, like, at doing things like that of anyone I know.
Yeah, it took me long because I was trying to read it and then think about all the use cases, and then I would pause, think
Hmm.
about. Yeah, just me typically because I couldn't like read it on 2 times speed as everything else. So um yeah, it took a lot longer. But it's very interesting. They've got some really cool things in here.
Alright. I have made an announcement about the stream because I know that Dark is going to be sad if I don't. So, 1 minute late? Listen, you don't understand. Jocko had a very important meme to show me. It was, if I didn't, my life would have been far worse off if I didn't know about this.
Good, good. Yeah, I assumed it would change your life. Mine has.
Mm-hmm. But now, to get started, we have someone named Emil. Yes, the resident game designer. CK3. Joined by Chad. Chad and Emil. What? We have two game designers explaining this to us. No wonder it's going to be a big one. In the realms, no, 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 Dark. We're not making an announcement in the realms server about this. Oh, comrade in arms concerning all things Byzantium. I see, I see. Governors reside in the capital. Upcoming major expansion, roads to power. Yes. They'll be discussing the brand new administrative government type, which I know a lot of people on the Realms and Exile team have been foaming at the mouth over for a long time. So I am very interested to see what this actually does on a fundamental level.
I know Vectra has been hoping and coping for it.
He's not. Wait. I saw him playing. He was playing EU4. he's, if he's around, I could ping him. I didn't think he'd be around at this time, but uh, uh
Yeah, he is playing EU4 at the moment. Only for 5 minutes, so.
I'll let him know that you and I are doing a podcast thing for the new Dev Diary if he's around. we could have three devs, two lead devs, and myself a lowly
Woohoo.
normal dev.
Yeah, we need like if Vector joins, we need to like send out an announcement on our own server then. I mean that's like two. Okay, no, I was gonna say it's like
Yeah, it's just part one, and Jocko's telling me that even part one's a. Oh, that's quite the big scroll bar. Hmm. I see.
yeah, it is.
Well, if he pops in, then we shall see. But otherwise, let's actually get started because this is going to be a big one apparently. So, all right, yeah, it's work in progress screenshots. Several aspects of the UI. Yeah, that's not surprising. Um, the values and numbers in the screenshot. Yes, balancing, and it's only part 1 of 2. Because there's gonna be some things in this dev diary where they'll be like, yeah, that more on that later, or you'll see in the dev responses, and they'll be like, that's next time. Uh,
Ooh, and Victor has been summoned
oh,
and
he's
joined.
here.
Hello.
Hello. I didn't think you'd be around at this time, but I saw you were playing a U4, so I wasn't gonna even bother asking you because I've been strangling you until you join all of these podcasts so often. I didn't. I just like, oh no, don't even bother him, please.
Yeah, I got time right now. I
Oh
can chat
dear.
and sack France at the same time. Don't worry.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful. But see, apparently it's only part 1 of them discussing administrative government. So yeah.
Yeah, my goodness.
Oh no, they're not going to explain how appointment succession works until part 2. No.
Yeah, next week for that, which
Is
I
that
think is the bit that's going to really make or break if it works.
is
Mm-hmm.
that the pod
Good deal.
channel in your chat?
The what?
It's like a Prince of Darkness. Someone called Prince of
Oh!
Darkness.
Oh! The pod channel! Yeah, it is! Oh, God. Hello. Hello, the Princes of Darkness YouTube channel, whichever one of you it is. I don't know who it is of you, but it is one of you, and that's neat. Is it
And yeah,
Wrench? Because I know Wrench is lurking in my server.
yeah, Princes of Darkness has got it exactly spot on. That Landless Adventures is going to be really,
Mm.
really appropriate for certain parts of the Tolkien universe. So I'm eagerly looking forward to more info on them.
Yes, the like combinations of landless adventurers and the administrative government type, and there's a lot of things that will determine whether or not it will actually function for any of the goofy shenanigans we would like to have. All right. Administrative or admin government for short is a new government type that draws on a lot of inspiration specifically from the Byzantine Empire. While Byzantium isn't the only inspiration, it is by far the most significant. Just like with historical inspiration, an administrative realm is about the empire itself. You have the emperor situated neatly at the top, with many governors and noble families serving underneath. They are all small cogs, part of one big machine. They need each other just as much as they are competing against one another. Regardless of their motives or actions, they serve the Empire first and foremost, for a prosperous realm is more worthwhile to be in. Okay, and we do have our first big old screenshot. Byzantine Empire and its internal structure of themes. We have... They are called themes, yes. Now hear me
Yeah,
out.
the game is on theme for the Byzantines.
Yes,
It
yes.
yeah, I'm
It
not
is
gonna
on
lie.
theme.
It maybe, but I like read theme of, and I was like, wait, what? Surely it's like wrong. And I spent like 5 minutes wondering whether you could select like a UI theme based off of Coat of Arms, and then it took me that long to realize, oh wait, it's just them being appointed, and then my excitement drastically dropped.
The idea of Mordor having an administrative realm is a little silly to me. Mr. Spark from POD.
And
I
mentioning the last ring bearer in my presence.
unless I don't know what the last ring bearer is, but I'm gonna guess that's if it's an administrative realm that means that it's a version of Mordor where it's just all like Numenorian characters. They're all black Numies.
No. So the entire premise of the last ring bearer is inverting the worldview. So like the elves are evil manipulators who are trying to maintain feudal status quo so that they maintain their superiority, whereas Mordor is like a enlightened technocracy ruled by the Nazgul who are elected, philosopher kings instead of, undead puppets of a dark lord and shit, and yeah. And Aragorn is like a puppet of Arwen and the elves and stuff, and it's just, yeah, it's a thing.
That's well. Thank you, thank you, POD, for bringing this to my attention by making Vector pained enough to explain it. But as Hendrix, what you're saying, title flavor. Title, you wish there were title flavor, and I will be able to, once the DLC is out, dig it out and find out what causes. Stop. Yes, OBS. Stop.
I've already said in
Oh.
comments that
Oh, OBS shut the bed.
Kings and such is the specific Byzantine localization,
Alright,
and they'll
alright.
just be localized as provinces for generic administrative realms.
Well, that's good to know. I love myself more excuses to make up title flavorization. And we also see that the Duchy of Vidin is mentioned, which is curious because the Duchy of Vidin. Oh, okay. Well, Hendrix, don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just finagling around back here. The Duchy of Vidin is mentioned there, and the themes are mentioned, and those are different names for different types of subjects. And as Vector had mentioned, but you didn't hear, because the stream died. Apparently, they also elsewhere mention here that the it is specifically mentioned that it is that theme is a unique title flavor for Byzantines specifically. So anyone else will refer to it as a province. That's what Vector was saying. So that means that I'm sure I will surely be able to quite easily make all sorts of custom things. We can have governorate or what have you for Numenorian stuff in ye olden times, and fun times indeed. Yes, I am curious. I'm waiting for a chance to mention this. But the Duchy of Vidin specifically mentioned here under my fat head. You can see. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to see because of how my shiny reflective skull, but the Duchy of Vidin mentioned down here is specifically called out as being feudal, which, I mean, yeah, okay, that's interesting, but why is that the case? Why?
Because it's a feudal vassal sworn to an administrative realm.
So
Yeah,
So
they do say like
administrative governments can have all of the other government types as their vassals. So they can have tribals, they can have clan, they can have republics, they can have feudal.
yeah.
Well, that's very interesting then.
I do wonder
And it's very
because
good for us because it means we can have early Gondor, with its mix of administrative and feudal vassals. So
yeah, they've put the
Yay,
Italy and
Belfast.
but oh my word, no, please. But how it does make me wonder how these non-administrative government vassals interact with the administrative government, because obviously a big thing about the admin government is that you appoint essentially your vassals, and then they become a small cog in this big machine, which is your empire, and you guys kind of hopefully work very well, otherwise you fall apart. But a feudal vassal you don't appoint, that's hereditary. So are they just kind of normal vassals as we see in a feudal government? Or do they have like another role in an administrative government as a feudal vassal specifically? So that's one thing I'm very interested in, because it would be pretty interesting both if they no, it'd be pretty boring if they don't interact with it at all, and it'd be pretty interesting to see how Paradox do make feudal or clan or tribal vassals interact with an administrative system. So that is something that could potentially be interesting to look at.
And one thing here, where you see, I imagine that they quite likely mentioned it elsewhere in this dev diary, or maybe it's something that you have to wait to find out. But you've got these like little shields here. You got green shield, red shield, none. Is this like
Oh, I only
powerful
noticed it now.
vassals? But
I don't think they mention anything about it.
I don't think
Trying to
these
think
are
of.
powerful vassals now
It
that I
seems
think
to be
about
re-
it,
it
because
seems generally to be related to the efficiency of the rulership, or that's my impression, perhaps.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true. Like if you look at like most of the ones that have like negative levy, or that I don't know what it is, that minus 27%, minus 50% in the bottom left of each banner. Most of them seem to have a red shield.
it looks like it's what are those called? The things, it's like a money scale. I don't know what the term for it is. It's the
Yeah,
little thing
yeah.
where you got the little
Is it
things you slide back and forth. I
an
don't know.
abacus? I think it's called, but
Yeah, I think that's a term.
yeah. I did see someone, I think it was on the forums, thinking it was green and red chariot race teams. No, I'm not
Oh
so
my
certain.
the most
god.
important thing in Byzantine politics.
Yeah,
Uh,
those race teams.
some people would certainly have you think so. Now, I suppose we can move on from that segment. Um, Yes, the Emperor has the ultimate authority of the realm. It is the Emperor who creates new governors, appoints the governors of a theme. The pool of available candidates can be vast, and the Emperor will have to consider if they want to appoint that troublesome nephew to keep as much power as possible with his own family, or if a member of another noble family would be a better choice. Having a more competent but docile governor might just be useful, at least as far as the realm is concerned. Just as the Emperor manages the overall structure of the empire, so too does he support and supervise his governors. He can lend them troops if needed, have them go to war on his behalf, and reward them when they are performing well to be in their good graces. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, did the Wi-Fi seriously cut out again? I thought I fixed this. Ah, all right. I didn't. I gotta turn on that setting in my phone. I suppose I had not fixed it as easily as I thought. Yes. You cannot rewind live stuff on YouTube anymore. I don't think you've been able to for a long time. Let's. I'm gonna turn on USB tethering, so my computer will use my phone to connect to the Wi-Fi, because my phone is much better at connecting to the Wi-Fi stably for some reason. Don't ask me why. But
It's
in any
that
case.
secret Canadian technology we've all heard about.
Yes,
Trust.
that's the secret Canadian technology where my almost decade-old phone is better at connecting to the Wi-Fi than my couple-year-old computer. Who knows?
Yep.
But
Yeah, as one does. Yeah.
in any case, um, it's interesting. I should probably. Oh, there's so much. God damn. Where do I stop reading to pause and talk about stuff? The administrative.
Entire thing, and then you talk.
Fine. The power of an administrative realm is very much intended to ebb and flow. When the empire is well managed, it runs smoothly like a well-oiled machine, able to beat down its opponents with ease. When mismanaged, however, it becomes significantly weaker, unable to defend itself against opportunistic conquerors looming on the doorstep. The Turks are coming. Expect a playstyle where wars give way to schemes, intrigue, and good old-fashioned politics. Internal wars between vassals are practically non-existent, as your primary way of expanding within the realm will be to make efficient use of schemes and leverage your influence as you jockey for governorships and other influential positions. Governors are unable to join or to create or join independence or dissolution factions, making administrative realms excellent as large, sprawling empires. While they are significantly less likely to collapse or break apart, succession is a much riskier business. Claimants won't sit idly by while the empire's fate lies in the hands of an inept emperor. The Byzantine Empire will play significantly differently from how you are used to playing the game. You would normally gain titles through proven means, such as wars or marriage, but to gain lands and extend your own power in an administrative realm, you will have to engage in politics. You'll scheme against your rivals, leverage hooks against your peers, and make use of your influence to sway the emperor to your side. To reinforce this new playstyle, schemes have been updated to be more engaging. Oh, a new scheme type available only within administrative realms. Political schemes. There are several new schemes of this type, as well as a swathe of new interactions that will help you manage your realm, interact with your liege, your vassals, and your peers. Ultimately, these are all tools which you can leverage your influence to shape the realm to your will with. We'll go into more depth into these throughout this dev diary. Okay, yep, they are going to talk more in this one. Byzantium is the main focus of the expansion, and will be the only realm that will have admin government on game start, trading a lot of conventional gameplay in exchange for new and powerful tools at the cost of increased micromanagement and less secure succession. Any feudal or clan ruler can strive to surpass Byzantium and attempt to adopt this new government type if they choose, but more on that later. Oh. Yeah, I like more schemes. They say political influence schemes. It's not just one scheme, right? It's a type. It's a new type of scheme?
Yeah, it from what I read, it sounds like, and I really hope this is because it could make, and by hoping that I'm hoping it's moddable as well. But it looks like they're tying the access to those type of schemes to the government itself, which
Yes.
sounds very interesting because from what I know, currently schemes are very untouched by, or at least to this extent, by any other mechanic in vanilla in terms of allowing access to a completely new type of scheme. Like obviously you got your intrigue stuff, but that all falls under your vanilla schemes. But they specifically highlight here political schemes. So I'm wondering that what that means because we've already got fabricate hooks, right? Which covers like blackmail in its
Mm-hmm.
entirety. So it's gonna be interesting.
I'm not so sure what sort of just political schemes could they be referring to that would only be available? Something that would directly impact this specific government type.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm because yeah, it's I think it's one of those double-edged swords where it can be very interesting, but it depends on how the rest of the schemes interact with it. Because again, like you've got blackmail, like weak hooks and strong hooks, which kind of cover anything you'd want to do with it. Like demanding a council position, getting better feudal contracts or vassal contracts. Um, so I'm wondering whether political schemes might be either more diplomacy focused or might be more focused in terms of just getting you a better advantage in the administrative government without seeming as direct as them just demanding a council position. Because I'm just thinking back to that the video they announced when they announced the start date, where these like three guys snuck into a palace and blinded someone, which I think disinherits some people in the administrative government. At least I think for CK3 it did or whatever. So that could be interesting. Like if you did schemes where you can blind people or castrate people, that would be awful. But it could also be powerful. You just like go castrate the head of a house and they just fall from power or something
Oh,
like that.
I could see that. I could see that. But yeah, I also like the idea of perhaps that I'm sure they'd mention it if there was some sort of currency, like where you spend a currency that you gain by scheming to ask for things. I don't
There is a
know.
new currency they introduced. They talk about it a bit
Oh?
later in the dev diary. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll let
See
you
then.
like read a bit further.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. No, this isn't, this is not Red that I'm speaking with. Vector is also here, but he's just hanging out while he's playing EU4. This is Jocko. Red is a middle-aged British man, rather unmistakable once you hear his voice.
Got that Earl Grey drinking tea
He
accent.
sounds like he might have invented Earl Grey tea. Yes. It was named after him, perhaps, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there was also, I guess, yeah, lending troops if needed is an interesting thing, and going to war on your behalf. It's like and that's like, can you just tell your administrative vassals like, but declare war on this person for me, please? Yes. And also the fact that the administrative countries you cannot have administrative vassals declaring independence or claimant factions. Only the non-administrative segments of the realm can, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah, and something that just with that like last sentence where they said you can lend them troops. Is that a raven in the chat?
I think it is. Sounds like a cool guy.
But with that last sentence, I'm really hoping and coping a bit with it because it's something that I know every TC like just we can't do anything with it. But men at arms modding or army modding in any form.
They're
Because
never gonna give
either
up army modding.
hey, listen,
I
I'm
don't think so,
coping.
no.
They will one day. It's gonna happen. But I'm really hoping the he can lend them troops if needed part isn't just hey, your like levy obligations to me are less now, and therefore by virtue you have more men. I'm not lending you actually any troops. I'm just allowing you to keep people. So I'm hoping it's not that and more of an actual
No.
like and or it could be something like I don't know, it would be kind of weird, but how we currently have for the OVR, where instead of actually joining the war, you can send money and special troops. So that could be something where the Emperor actually uses gold or the new resource which is called influence or something.
I imagine it's
actually hire a
probably...
band of mercenaries or something.
I'm willing to bet that administrative characters themselves, like the subjects, do not have much in the way of armies at all. Actually, they might, because they still could be attacked by, like, a duke, for example, so... No.
The Duke.
Yes. Yes, the Duke of Vidin might want to conquer all of the administrative vassals in Bulgaria, for example.
All these people gawping over the new government, me just playing as the one feudal vassal in the Byzantine Empire.
Someone will be that guy. Someone will, in fact, be that guy. Also, Red, if you would like to, I could make in the future when I do CK3 Dev Diary podcast things, I could make it more apparent to the rest of the team that I'm doing these, and you could join if you would like, Mr. Cool Guy. You're such a just because you're such a cool dude, you know, such a swell fella.
We continue reading a dev diary, Joffrey. We
No.
need to get to the speculation, drive PDX
No.
mad with it.
No, they don't
to
care
implement
about
everything.
me. They don't care about what I have to say. I am a nothing, a nobody.
Yes, but their own team cares, and we're 20. Well, how many subscribers do we have? Like 180,000. It's an army, Joffrey, if you think about it.
Yeah, because what we say here is speaking for the whole community, after all.
Of course. Yeah. Trust.
Yes. Administrative governments are unique, and they allow for the existence of noble families. So, which I'm assuming is like patricians from CK2 republics. Each house in an admin realm is a player in the vast political game, whether they hold land at a certain moment or not. All these families are jockeying for power, titles, or even control of the empire itself. As the head of a noble family, it is your prerogative to garner power in the form of securing appointments and positions for your house members, improving the family estate, yes, estates, and undercutting any political rivals that would challenge your name. Directly owning landed titles on the map is not a requirement for rulers within an admin realm. If you are appointed to a title and any corresponding counties, you are there to do a job. It is not your personal fiefdom to do as you please. Admin realms should feel like a sort of proto-nation state, as Byzantium can be described during our period, as an administrative governor, are meant to manage the land and act publicly on behalf of the realm and your liege. That's not to say you can't set aside something for yourself, however. It's a tough job managing the realm, after all. This means that you can quite easily lose any land you hold, and should you be forced to resign, unable to secure the succession, or you may even give it up willingly. If you so choose, you might want to put yourself in line for a better theme, for example. Owning land can, in other words, be seen as temporary. You can expect your house members to hold some land most of the time, but there will be times where you won't. If that happens, you can keep playing as landless nobles within the realm. Should the empire fall, however, you shall fall with it. While not holding land, you still stand as a powerful political force, and can take a lot of actions to claw your way to power. Unlike the more mobile adventurers, you are still very much a part of your realm, as you cannot simply pick up your things and leave. You will always retain access to your estate, however. More on that later. Landless nobles are made playable with a new type of title, the Noble Family Estate. This new title is a duchy tier title, typically held by a house head. You can draw comparisons to how mercenaries or holy orders are set up. They exist with a duchy tier title, held by their respective leaders. There is an important caveat to mention here, however. This means that if you don't have a noble family title, you will be unable to play as a landless noble. You will almost always be playing as a house head, however. If you find yourself in the extremely rare case that you aren't, you've made the decision to create a cadet branch. We've made the decision to make a cadet branch much easier for administrative governments. As the player, you can take this at essentially any time that you aren't a house head. Doing so will give you a new noble family title, allowing you to keep playing even when you lose your land. Wow. There we see the noble family screenshot.
I think this is very interesting. One, just out of a, sorry, like GUI nerd, but like I got out of a GUI perspective, I love the art where you can like subtly see it, but the art like conforms to the coat of arms slightly in terms of following its shape, and I wonder whether that's a preset thing. I'm assuming it is, versus a bit more dynamic, because I'm just like thinking of like some TCs, that have more straight sides and so forth for their koas. So that could be interesting. But
I didn't think
yeah,
about that.
yeah,
A lot of mods change the way their coat of arms are shaped.
yeah.
Hey, lucky for us, we're
And
not doing that, right?
it's cool.
I think
But,
Pod does.
Yeah, I think
It's been a while since I've
I
launched
know
it.
I know AGOT does. Sure about Pod.
Ours are squares.
Wait, what?
Yeah, ours aren't shields. Ours are squares.
Oh,
Eh?
that's
No, we've got it shaped like vanilla, whatever that
No,
is.
we've got squares.
We changed it from vanilla?
Yeah, that's been the case for 2.0, I'd say.
We devs play the game, guys. Trust.
Yes,
We play.
yes, I definitely I definitely do things on CK3 other than launching Realms in Exile. I still think
More
Vector's
interesting.
gaslighting us. There's no way. There's no way. I was just playing in a CK3 mega campaign. There's no way I didn't notice that. No
Evidently
way.
so.
Oh no, if Chad is agreeing with Vector, then I suppose...
Yeah.
I suppose
And
he
more
must not
interesting
be
and
lying.
yeah, damn it. Lord. More interesting, and I'm assuming this is maybe just work in progress numbers, but it seems the Emperor has a way, way higher family rating than the next in line powerful family. Like a humongous amount. Like what? That's almost 150 more rating according to the Emperor.
Well, I suppose that means they're
Which
doing a good job.
yeah, I mean, let's hope so, and that's
Pay
just
no
not
attention to
like
the Dukas dynasty.
and it's
Well, I suppose that
also
means that we're gonna have to change the DDS file, like Pod is saying. Yep, we're gonna have to. Such a pain. All right, gotta open GIMP again. Oh boy. I've been putting GIMP through
yeah,
the
I mean,
ringer lately.
yeah, I mean, this is a question though. Does the like art in like that background conform to the coat of arms like frame, or is it
Jocko, we're
specifically
gonna
the
have to
lines?
change it. We're gonna have to change it. It's not gonna be a naturally conforming image somehow that
Surely
just
it is.
exists in the ether. That's not how.
It
That's
will.
not how image UI modding works.
It does. It does. Trust.
Jocko, it's okay. You're not gonna be the one who does it anyway. You can settle that. It's fine. It's gonna be like
That's true.
me or Jamie or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
But yes, I do think it's interesting that the next closest powerful families are over 100 below. They are more than half below. Half below. Komenos is more than double them in family rating, whatever that means. But there's all sorts of interaction buttons here. I imagine that these buttons are to bring you to the estate, and the torch is to somehow destroy their house.
Destroy their house.
And just interesting because I see it like located in the screenshot, which is, and I don't know, maybe it's just for clarity, like while playing the game, but they list the faith that your state is, like they're like orthodoxy state faith. So I am wondering whether certain faiths will have an actual impact on the government itself, because I would assume so. We already have like a few traditions and so forth. You know, if you're like feudal governments and so forth, you'll get bonuses to cities or whatever. But I'm wondering what what bonuses could be accorded to administrative government. So that's gonna be in iconoclast. We should really redo the mega in CK3 and get iconoclast Byzantine.
Yes, yes. Valar was very close to doing just such a thing, but then he found out that there was no, that they didn't have the. Surprisingly, I know this is shocking, but when you transfer Iconoclast to EU4, it does not have the icons mechanic that Orthodox has. Whoa, shocking. The Orthodox heresy, based on removing icons, does not have the icons feature. And he was sad, so he didn't do it. But yes, I am curious. I imagine that one thing it probably does is, no, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, I'll just say the first thing that comes to mind is banning people from being administrators if they are not the state faith. Like, they just can't be selected for it. But I don't know. That sounds like something where surely that would happen in history, where people would get assigned as a governor, even if they are the wrong faith somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, something people brought up in the comments is, this could be really an administrative government could be really appropriate for a Zoroastrian Persian Empire, the satrapies. And there were satrapies were often, local peoples of local culture and local faiths. So there's
So
your
you would
example right there.
have, so you would have, for example, the state faith is Zoroastrian, but you would have the different satraps not necessarily being said faith.
You'd have Greek satraps in Anatolia, Jewish satrap in Judea, so on and so forth. Babylonian and Babylon.
I bet it makes it harder for you to get influence. That's the key thing. I don't yet know how this influence thing that Jocko has mentioned works, but I imagine it probably makes your family like a lot less impactful, and in general, it's probably just far more difficult to become the head of the Byzantine Empire, for example, if you are not Orthodox. I imagine that's one check because the different families can swap because you're all just members, you're all just families in the administrative government, and it's possible for one to surpass them somehow. So maybe that's one.
Yeah,
thing.
that is true. When you get to the influence section, you'll see it. I saw it earlier, which was really cool. Is that the influence, like the influence gain and so forth, is a lot more based on like actions your character took instead of, because like if you think about like our three main currencies, piety, prestige, and gold, right? Most of it you'll probably just do by gain, or you'll gain by just doing your normal activities like feast, hunts, and bowling stuff. Like those are the three basic, like some of the three basic things you can do in the game, and you'll just gain piety, prestige, and gold from all those. But influence is a lot more. It feels like it's a lot more personally character driven, as in you get influence from depending on who you're allied with and what their title tier is and how powerful they are. Whether you're in a position in the council position, similar to prestige, but I'm hoping it's a bit more better. Hopefully, I don't know exactly what it says, but and then influence is they do link it, but it's uniquely tied to administrative government.
Jocko, we're not there yet, though.
Sorry, I'm just
We're not quite there yet.
Speed read the strawberry, speed read
I
this.
want to
Skip
respond
every second word.
But Pod is in the chat, Jocko.
Oh crap, that's true.
We
I imagine Pod that Princes of Darkness can I imagine the Princes of Darkness mod could definitely lean a lot more into those the RPG elements than yes of that you get from the World of Darkness with the and all the different I imagine that makes it a lot more convenient. We've discussed it briefly, the fact that landless characters in general enables us to we haven't like touched on specific examples, but the fact that in realms there's a lot of cultures and characters that could exist. It's hard to think of them off the top of your head, but there's lots of like cultures and characters that could exist on the map, but you can't just you don't want to just like make an entire county that follows this religion or culture just to make them represented when they really shouldn't. If that makes sense? So we theoretically will also be able to make use of it for representing smaller factions, where I imagine that there's a lot of examples where you don't necessarily want to give the Fae or werewolves necessarily too much land, because I know they're supposed to be on the outs. They're not big deal. Does the Lord of the Rings universe even have important noble families? The very idea. How could he? They dare insult the Butterbur name, the most important noble family there is. The very idea.
I was so ready for you to be like Isolde, and then you brought Butterbur. I'm gonna go
Yeah, it was
crawl
a
into
bit
the
of a
corner
bait and
now.
switch, I gotta say. I was also expecting Isildur.
That's why I didn't say Isildur. Because everyone thinks I'm gonna bring up a branch of the Elros family. No one sees the Butterbur twist.
Nobody expects the Butterbur Inquisition.
But
Secretly,
yes,
a
yes,
secret noble
yes.
family that's been around since like the early Third Age, just handling the bloody inn, saving up its wealth, about to buy the whole of Arnor with its saved up wealth. Oh, Lord.
He was going to do it, but then, there was the whole Witch King fiasco, and, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's exactly what I thought. POD. Yeah, that's you have places like Rome and Paris. Rome, Paris, and Constantinople. My vague understanding of the world of darkness are places that are absolutely jammed full of stuff. But you have to just kind of be like, this is it's the realm. It's all just this is the courts of love. I think, yeah, and it's just this is the person that holds Paris, and it just works. Yeah, it's just that's fine. Like we'll cope. This is the only person who is in Paris, and it's fine, I guess. I didn't want multiple people there anyway.
Yeah, I will say I'm very interested to see how Pod handle and I didn't they don't handle it in this dev diary, but things like landless adventurers. I wonder how Pod's gonna do the distinction between werewolves, like landless werewolves, versus landless people of the faith fighting against vampires and landless vampires and so forth. Because I think while very hard and we don't know how moddable it is, and probably a crap ton of work, I think it could also be pretty cool to show a distinction. I was like actually talking earlier about it to Bryce, where just in terms of art, having like different art for elves, dwarves, and so forth in the realms mod for like a landless camp would be
Mm-hmm.
so amazing to be like, oh, you go into a landless or adventurer camp as an elf, and it's a lot more stylized to, let's say they're an Noldor camp, a lot more stylized in the typical armor we think of, and so forth. And then you go to a dwarves, and there's like dwarves standing in like the like normal armor we think of for like Erebor. So
I suppose. Yeah. We are not discussing camps yet, unfortunately. Yes, as you say. Pod. We don't know quite how that works. Oh, did my Wi-Fi cut out again there?
just for like half a second.
Yeah, it looked like it just
Slightly.
it just said no data for like 3 seconds.
Oh,
Wonderful stuff. Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily mind if it drops for just a moment, but that's a bit of an issue still, just not devastating. But in any case, yes. One specific example I can think of for like places on the map. Um, and yeah, baronies are they just don't bloody work. It's so annoying. But yeah, they annoy me so much in their implementation. But a specific example for realms, like because you're talking about like how would like what you brought up, like does like Lord of the Rings even have like important noble families? A specific example of what I was talking about where there's like people you might want to include but you don't want to like give them land is like in earlier start dates. We keep throwing around what to do with, for example, the ancestors of Beorn. We don't know what the hell to do with them, because they theoretically existed someplace in the Misty Mountains in the past. And for me, an example is like, oh, well, we could have in an earlier one of our earlier start dates, we could just stick a camp. We could hopefully this is a thing you can preset up at game start, and we would be able to be like, this is a camp in this
Camp
unowned
Beorn.
county, this camp in an unowned county in the mountains, and Beorn's ancestors. There's a family of them somehow that are still alive, and they're like, That'd be cool.
That could
That's
be
an
that would
example of what I'm speaking about.
yeah, that could be super cool. Imagine just starting a game just having like 15 courtiers and all have the skin changer trait. And you just like rock up to a realm and you all just turn into a bloody bear.
Some people are
Like
into
for that's true.
All
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Continue. We can continue along. Sorry, Jocko. This is the norm.
No,
This
no,
is how it goes. Unfortunately for
no,
Vector,
no.
though, you and I both like to ramble, so he's in a
Yeah, no,
dangerous
no, no.
place now.
Continue speed reading. Continue speed reading, John.
I'm in danger.
Yeah. Powerful and dominant families. Noble families are sorted into normal, powerful, and dominant families. These designations are based on something called powerful family rating, discussed below, and indicate each family's level of power within an administrative realm. Think of powerful families as a who's who of the realm. A powerful family manages to become dominant. If a powerful family manages to become dominant, they have by and large subdued the political milieu, what the heck is that word, of the realm to their will. Should you so desire, you can manipulate and control an admin realm as the head of a dominant or powerful family without ever becoming the top liege. Rather than having individual vassals play a big role within the realm, it is different houses, the most influential of which will have a greater impact on the realm at large. Powerful families remain so, regardless of the position of the house head, who may go from being a governor to landless and back again. With this, we aim to create a sense of stability among the many and frequent
Flyers.
that word of the administrative realms. Becoming a powerful family entitles your house members to several benefits and tools. For example, only members of powerful families can use the new depose and subsume governorship schemes. Well, there's some new schemes. They get a flat discount to promoting candidates to the new succession type, discussed in our next dev diary, and are generally better at political schemes. It is also easier for them to be made co-emperor, which we'll discuss in a later dev diary. Any powerful family that is also able to control a significant part of the realm will become the dominant family. This happens when they control enough governorships to cover 25% of the realm's total realm size. So your family must control a fair amount of land in order to become dominant. Yes, I imagine that's what the purple is above. I imagine that like the dominant one is likely the one that's listed at the top, and they'll be made
No,
purple.
because it only says is a powerful family. I think it would say is a dominant family. If so, I think it's purple because that's the family of the Basilius.
That's quite
Yeah,
likely.
it's they you can read about it later, but
Okay.
they say
Okay.
later on that there's a normal, powerful, and a dominant family, like groups in which like rulers can be dealt into. So it could refer to that as well.
Any powerful family that is able to also control a significant part of the realm will become a dominant family. Yep. Dominant family also enjoys all the benefits accorded to a powerful family, but to a greater degree. They are much more of a problem or nuisance for the liege. Once reaching such a position of influence and power, they are difficult to dislodge. They have a much easier time becoming governors, for one thing, by significantly reducing the cost of investing in candidates. Covered in detail next week. And have a much easier time requesting support from lesser families. Additionally, all members of a dominant family are even better at political schemes than the other powerful families. Oh boy, so it is a bit of a snowball effect then. Every family's rating also affects how likely the members of a house are to inherit the top liege's title, example, becoming the Emperor of Byzantium. As a portion of the rating is added to a candidate's score discussed below, it will be much easier to compete for the title with a higher rating, or to keep it within your family if you are already Emperor. It's important to note that administrative realms don't have the concept of powerful vassals like other governments do. You can still have powerful vassals should you have vassals of other government types, as those will be able to become powerful vassals as per usual. Administrative vassals, however, cannot. This is only relevant in the case where a feudal or clan vassal becomes part of an administrative realm. Oh boy. One playable wandering Gandalf. Oh god. Oh
And
god.
it's true.
I mean,
It makes sense for Gandalf to be wandering around.
it would make sense for Gandalf to be a playable wandering character, I suppose. Ah. There can only be a handful of powerful families at any given time. 5 to be exact. The top liege's house is always considered powerful and does not take up one of these 5 spots. Houses that are then sorted and ranked according to their rating. Gosh. In order to become a powerful family, a house needs to have a rating above a certain threshold. This prevents small and seemingly insignificant houses from becoming powerful, as they need a certain amount of sway within the realm before they can gain the benefits of being a powerful family. When above the minimum threshold, it is the 5 houses with the highest rating that are considered powerful. Yeah. Simple enough. Ooh, living house members adds to your rating. House heads level
Oh,
of
they
intrigue.
say
More
some.
members of the family to exert political influence
Yeah.
through.
They say some really cool stuff about the modifier stuff in the next 2 paragraphs. It's just out of a modding standpoint.
Okay. State is located in the capital, land and house members, and number of held governorships. That is all very interesting to me for sure. Where your estate is located is a relevant factor, and that is interesting.
Yeah, no backwater peasants allowed here.
Be gone.
There are several factors that have an impact on a family's rating. We have smaller factors such as the number of living house members, which exist as potential tiebreakers if families have similar ratings. Your estate and the buildings you construct in it also play a central role in your rating. If the estate is located in the realm capital, you gain yet another small bonus. Other factors you can actively pursue is being part of your liege's council, where every position counts. If you get other families onto the council, the rating increases for each councillor. Or you can pick up the Heart of the Family diplomacy perk, which grants us a small but not insignificant boost. I imagine that diplomacy is the way to go. Diplomacy and intrigue really will be the way to play in these.
Yeah, the way they're describing all this, it makes me wonder if some of this might be appropriate in the Thani Hazard, at least for the high level Black Numenorian stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait because it does sound like they're doing not necessarily a full intrigue and diplomacy rework, but they're trying to make intrigue and diplomacy a bit more relevant to the actual game, which is pretty fun because intrigue and diplomacy currently it can be fun, but only I think if you're trying to roleplay. Otherwise, if you're like doing min maxing in any aspect, it's like okay, you need like 1 perk in intrigue, which is the fabricate hook, and then you just go stewardship, and then then you're done. Like there's like a few other like perks that can give you power in the intrigue thing, but like compared to martial stewardship, it's not really a lot. So I'm hoping that this kind of forces a player in a gameplay helping perspective to actually interact with intrigue and diplomacy. It's like, hey, listen, you can still go stewardship and martial, it'll still be powerful. But in this situation, intrigue and diplomacy are just as, if not stronger, than martial and stewardship. Which I'm hoping is the case because that just brings more engagement to everything. Because now you can do perks, and now you can go down to diplomacy and intrigue, which will cause you to interact or do more character interactions and abducting and so forth, which will lead to its own chain of stuff. So it's definitely something that me going on a tangent now that I hope comes with Roads to Power, or at least they'll expand upon in the next week's Dev Diary.
I do wonder, as Trig is bringing it up as well. How could we apply some of this to Thani Hazard? Because it's not like we want to just take Thani Hazard and actually make it a united empire with admin government. But
Well,
any
yeah,
way
it'll
we could
be
make use
interesting
of
to
it.
see what we can decouple from the government and what we can or implement in custom governments without too much work.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, like
Hmm.
Vector said, it really depends how tied, how is everything tied together? You know, is it like, oh, one line of code makes estates available in this government, or is it, oh yeah, you need to go look at 50 different files at least
Mhm.
to make estates like even show up?
There's
Because yeah,
because there's like the potential for this to allow us to do some really good and jank stuff with Oniozod. Potential if this works just
The way we think
perfectly
it does.
exactly as we might want. We can't get our hopes up, I suppose. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yes. Why? What? Your day is ruined and you hate everything and everyone right now? Is that what? Yeah, yeah. You settle down. Uh, it's not all doom and gloom, Bella. Worst case, you could be working on the mod. Imagine that. Oh.
oh yeah, Hands Wars, Joffrey, and just maybe
Oh,
something you could answer slash Vector, since you
don't
guys know a lot more about the lore.
don't think any faction will be straight up applicable in a very Byzantine coded admin government type, but it will have to be analyzed and torn apart. In
So
the third age, maybe not.
yeah, at third age 3000 likely not, but I think as described it could be very useful for early Gondor since we can it's already been said you can have feudal vassals to it. So
Because yeah, even at this point, like Womawas is gone.
mhm.
Low cost Druce out in the Far East. I don't think that was ever administrative in nature. So
It was only the barest hint of it. It was pretty feudal from the get-go.
well, and yes, Belikar, all's well, very much feudal at this point. So Belikar in earlier starts, and by earlier starts I mean the earliest one,
Yeah,
maybe.
before the Belicarian League was reforged into the kingdom. But
Yeah,
that's like 300, 400 third age was when they crowned a king. So
but still, I
that
mean, it's
point
going to
they
be very
started
interesting.
feudalizing pretty
Yeah, I mean,
fast.
it's going. Yeah, they did. From what I can remember, that I've listened to you talk about Bellacar history, they feudalized really, really quickly. Um, but one can probably attribute that to just the downfall and associated disasters and so forth, um, helping cause chaos. But that's one thing I am like very interested about in whenever we get to releasing extra start dates, whenever that may be, is I'm not sure about other whole conversions, but we cover quite a lot of years in our bookmark. So about like 3,000, what, 3,200 years roughly.
Thereabout, yeah.
So yes, so it's gonna be very interesting to see how governments, faiths, cultures, and so forth change. Because
Yes.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like what's it called? Joffrey knows, and Vectra has been saying a lot. Um, Up until like the Kin strife, a lot of Gondor, at least western part of Gondor, is very much administrative. Well, western and like northern, like Kalanardon, with Balfloss being an exception.
Yeah,
So
essentially, rule of thumb is Belfalos is the exception in early Gondor. Most of it
yeah,
is more administrative early on.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's gonna be really interesting to see that like change. Like imagine you play in the Kinderstrife date, um, or like I don't know, a date like 800 third age or whatever, and it's like mostly administrative, and then you go to like 2000 like the Wayne Rider invasion or whatever, and it's just all feudal. I don't know. It's a very interesting progression in terms of history, which I don't think we see a lot in vanilla, aside from just mass migration of tribal to feudal.
it begs so many questions, like how we could implement this system. Like, was Shreldor an administrative government? How did
No,
they?
I'd say it was more kind of a clan tribal autocracy sort of deal.
We have
Administrative
discussed the
government
fact that
mixed
they
swimming when?
we have discussed. Oh, God. Yeah, yes, we are just. Duke wants to join. Oh dear. Oh dear. We'd never get any progress on anything done if you joined the voice chat, though, Juke.
The
Oh.
speculation will go mad.
Hmm. I'll let you. All right, Juke. Join a voice chat. Join a voice chat in my Discord server, and I'll drag you in here. Just join anyone. Yeah. There you go, buddy, old pal.
Well, I actually only wanted to talk to Namcraft. That was a joke.
What?
Hello.
What? What?
Pull the Psych 22 on you.
Well, then you can go talk to them.
That was a joke. That was a joke. Hello.
Hello, Juke.
So I'm reading through right now. This is a lot. Oh dear.
Yes, it's a lot. We're making our
This
way
is a lot.
through at the most speedy pace that I am capable of, which is not fast. And discussing potential ways that various things can be used in regards to realms. Which mostly boils down to at what point in time were different parts of the Numenorian realms in exile bureaucracies, and which times were they feudal? So
I would argue that
yes.
Umbar was never feudal, because they were always about those big families. I reckon.
Well,
Yes,
if
I mean,
if we're talking early pre-Gondor Umbar, yes, I'd probably show them as administrative or some sort of knockoff on administrative.
But the
We are
Corsairs are
pirate
not.
guys.
The Corsairs are definitely
Big
not an administrative
council.
realm.
Yeah, not the Corsairs.
Ah, yes, the pirate.
Did we talk about naming it administrative
The
yet?
imperial state of piracy.
I think Prince of Darkness has it correct. Who cares about what happens in the Third Age? We need to go to the Fourth Age. We need Imperial Hobbiton. Or like the
Imperial
decision that
Hobbiton.
Jamie had art for. We're not
Yes.
getting
The
communism
Shire
hobbits.
communes.
Oh
Yeah, the
god.
sh- And then we have it be an administrative government, but the ruler holds all the power. So it spits in the face of every vassal.
This all is reinvigorating my crackhead ideas of having a somehow making a united dwarven empire where the different families vote on shit.
Oh yeah, with the high king of all dwarves being like rotating.
Yeah,
That could work.
because you could theoretically do that with this, where the different dwarves, the dwarven families, are powerful families in this dwarven realm.
That could work. Good work.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! I'll need to
I
seriously
feel it might
think
be a
about that
bit
when it comes
different,
out.
I believe it might be a bit difficult for them to form a council, considering they all live on the opposite parts of the world.
I mean, you just send to
they had, like,
representative.
Underestimate the
capital.
stubbornness of dwarves.
Hey, listen, in Elder Scrolls lore, they make like steam engines. Okay, I'm
They're
sure.
not Elder Scrolls dwarves though.
We're not discussing
I really
the
would
the
compare
song, the music magic. No, well, but we use music magic too, but like they use the dong is different. Anyway,
Well, they use
but
tonal magic.
elves using administrative. I don't even think would that even be possible? Could we
Well, we
assign?
have a custom elven government, and I'm really interested to see what I can pull from administrative into it.
Yeah.
So I won't say
True.
it's not a possibility, but
Do you
more
think that would
likely
make
we'd
sense?
upgrade the current elven government rather than just give them the normal imperial whole cloth is kind of
But
my
Yeah.
current.
the question to me then is, would it make sense for Linden to be an administrative realm when, like, would they do that, or would they
I
be
mean, kind of maybe
more
because
static?
I'm not quite sure because some elements of the Imperial, like disabling internal wars and stuff like that makes total sense for elves. But other bits, because elves definitely have feudal lords, it's just that they're all perfect or most of them are perfect, and they live so damn long that it doesn't really matter that it's, feudal because you have intelligent people running the post for basically an eternity.
When it comes
But
to
there are
elven
definitely bits
gameplay,
of there's definitely bits of the Imperial system I want to grab for elves.
when it comes to just elven gameplay in general, it's like, I mean, if you don't make them administrative, it's like, well, I mean, they can fight each other. I get that lets them fight each other, but we don't really want them to be able to so casually fight each other, especially not inside the same realm. But then it's also, well, elves are immortal, so you won't have the whole administrative government taking action where you like vote and like spend influence for
Yeah,
the
on a
succession of different
succession where
themes.
somebody would get appointed to a position, you're never going to get that to happen. So, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Do.
Did they confirm that we can have title-based governments now that are locked to one specific title like you could in CK2?
I don't think so. I did see people mention that. Like, I'm not sure. Yeah, Joffrey will have to read further. I didn't see anything about it specifically.
All right. Well, where the hell were we?
I think we were
Yes,
like at the
family.
second paragraph.
That's actually. No, I discussed that. Family attributes. To give each family some additional flavor, they have access to what we call a family attribute. It's a small set of bonuses that apply directly to all house members, as well as a separate bonus that only applies to their liege. A family's attribute is only active if and when they are considered a powerful family. Since there is a limited number of powerful families, the liege won't be able to stack these modifiers indefinitely. Instead, we hope they serve as an incentive to keep certain families around and making sure they remain powerful so that you don't lose out on the bonus they provide. Dominant families are a bit special. Their house modifiers get to benefit from their attribute, but the liege will not. There's a number of bonuses available pertaining to different scheme types, improving troops, generating more influence, and more. Well, additional hostile schemes. Gosh.
Doge.
Golly.
Yeah,
Tax assessors.
Imagine we have this for for Tani Hazard alongside that one tradition. Don't want to spoil anything, but alongside that one tradition we have, Joffrey, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Imagine
Oh.
Balanlai titular empire, so we can have them all in one big government. Yeah, that probably would work.
Plus 5 hostile
Inheriting
schemes.
titles. I'm glad to see Intrigue getting some love. I hope they make the AI more intelligent in their scheming.
Yeah.
And also,
I do
more
have-
schemes always nice.
Yeah, that's true. It just makes the game from an like AI interacting with the player feel a bit more alive. If you get like murdered, like sure it's bad, but it's like, oh great, the AI is actually doing something in my game.
One day we will get back actual politics with Conclave 2. It'll be beautiful.
Hopefully. But
Conclave was so annoying though. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it was so good. I didn't
It's
have it on release, but then I bought it later, and I was like, "This is terrible. This is super annoying for like the first 5 hours." And then after that, I was like, "This is amazing. Finally, there's political opposition."
yeah, it's I just like a quick note on that. I do hope they at least look at some of the CK2 stuff and like be like, hey, that's good. Let's like do it in a different way, sure, and maybe improve on it, but
Yeah.
it should be present in CK3 because I'm like really hoping it's because from what I've heard about CK2 Republics, no one really or not a lot of people, or okay, no, let me put this better. The people I've like heard about don't really like um Republics because it was either way too OP or just was very disconnected from the base game. But oh god,
Ah.
Republics in CK3 would be more. But sorry, anyways, got sidetracked. Sorry, continue.
Yes, uh, I do think that this is a great step towards laying the groundwork for making that the sort of things that you had in CK2 Republics, but hopefully making them a little more nuanced this time. Alright. Continuing along. The attribute exists to give the different families some additional flavor, to give them some additional identity and character. Not all families are alike, and the attribute symbolizes what they are good at, or perhaps their origin. The AI won't change these on the fly, so when you are playing as the Emperor, you know what bonuses each family provides at all times. As a house head yourself, you are free to change the attribute at any time. There's no cost attached. You'll activate a short cooldown before you can change it again, but that's it. All in all, noble families are at the heart of administrative realms. Their members make up the body of the ruling characters, and they are constantly positioning themselves to grasp more power and station and influence within the empire at large. Spheres of influence? Okay, influence. Yeah, just influence. Okay, that's the frickin' name for that new DLC, I think, of Vicky that's never coming out. Influence is a brand new resource which represents your political capital and the sway you hold within an administrative realm, such as Byzantium. It's about your ability to manipulate others and leverage your political standing in order to achieve a favorable outcome. In many ways, influence is the tool that will make you successful, and gaining influence will be key to achieving your goals. Unlike other resources, influence is hard to come by in great quantities, and it has many varied uses. It is the lifeblood of an administrative realm. While the powerful emperor or high-ranking governor may be allowed to do what he wishes in theory, the reality is much more complex than that. Okay. This resource symbolizes how gracefully someone navigates the politics of the realm, and a truly powerful emperor will secure their rule and might through clever use of influence. For example, by securing army support or ousting troublesome governors. You've got your little influence thing there with it's a target, little dartboard. Every dev. How long would these streams be when you theoretically manage to get every dev into the chat? It would be very wonky for sure, because Jamie would have just as many crackpot tangents to go on as me, to be perfectly honest. He is very good at doing those. He's such a pleasure to be around, though. It's such a shame he's sick and busy at the same time today. Almost like he needs an excuse to get rid of me. No, he'll try to be around next week. There's the influence resource. Ooh, and the icon gets very pretty when it goes up. Ooh. Some levels of influence directly affect how well you perform schemes within the new political category, making a truly influential character assume the form of a masterful political manipulator. How many more? Holy! Holy, it keeps
Yeah,
going.
there
Yes,
is
it just keeps
so
stretching on and on and on.
much.
I
Luckily, a lot of
Jesus.
it is luckily a lot of it
Estates?
is pictures. Until like the last few
Hey!
My
paragraphs.
They
brothers in
re-added the
Eru.
they re-added the little mansions from the Republics from CK2. I like those. Those were cute.
Do. Gaining influence. Your monthly influence gain is very much dependent on your position within the realm, your skills at manipulation, and your success with schemes. Here are a few examples of what you can gain influence from. Your governor trait. To track just how much skill characters have after becoming a governor, we've implemented a new governor trait. Flavored Strategos here for Byzantium. This trait offers tiered bonuses to monthly influence gain, among other things. Does this... Okay, just... they call the governors Strategoses, and the trait is also flavored Strategos. I imagine that that's culturally dependent? It's probably specifically,
That's a
like...
cultural trigger right there. I've worked with
It's
those before.
it's probably just cultural trigger for the flavor, and not
Yeah.
like depending on having the trait, but it would be really cool. Just like it would be really neat of them if you could tie title flavor to having a trait too. That'd be kind of neat.
You
But I don't
technically
think they
can
will.
with scripting, it's just more complicated.
True.
I mean, so just imagine the complexity that we use for the Dunedain titles, but in the trigger blocks you can put traits.
Guys, I don't wanna spoil you guys, but at the very bottom there's a section called modding.
I was about to screech at you, but that's not a spoiler, so that's cool.
It's a teaser.
Yeah. I don't know how you've managed to avoid not spoil. I don't know how you've managed to not spoil me on the Forbidden City. By the way, Juke, it's taking great restraint from you. I know.
Oh no, I really don't like spoiling people in games. It's like the worst thing ever. Especially that one. I would never spoil someone in Outer Wilds. That would be like sacrilege. That would be like killing their firstborn in front of them. Speaking of, you ever notice how Jamie doesn't spend time with us anymore? Ever since he got that child? All I'm
I think
saying
we
is
should do something
many
about that.
mammals, many mammals when they're in the winter and there is not a lot of resources for them, they kill one of the two babies so the other one can live. And I'm saying that I don't want to kill off Realms in Exile.
I think we need to kill. So we need to kill off the other baby.
You catch my drift?
Where does Jamie live exactly? Where can we find the
I'm gonna
lightning
say
rabbit this time?
Public stream. Put his exact address on screen right now. If you guys like Realms in Exile, you should go to Jamie's house at this location.
For the good of the mod, progress must continue. He can afford no distractions.
Alright, guys, I'm dropping out of uni. It's time. I'll focus 100% time on the mod.
You
Who
better.
needs a degree, anyways? Like, honestly.
Uh,
The beatings will continue until modding improves.
yes. Yeah. That is what it's always like in the summer because we get nothing done in the summer. Speaking of summer, it's scorching here in Canada right now. I gotta check what the temperature is, and then everyone can do your classic. Oh my gosh, what are you talking about? That's not hot at all. Whoa.
It's funny because, like, it's winter for me now, and your summer is probably going to be colder than
So
what
according to
it
a
is for
Google
me in
search,
winter.
what province are you in, Joffrey?
I'm in southern Alberta.
Yeah, Alberta says that Google says you're at 76 Fahrenheit right now, which is 24 Celsius for those of you who don't live in North America.
It's like 10 degrees colder in the north half of the province than what it is in the south. So it's like.
And ironically, that like 24 Celsius is actually that is colder than it was yesterday. at my place during winter, and I was freezing my ass off at 25 degrees.
And here I'm just like, oh fuck, man. Oh, I need
I
to take a
didn't.
shower and like, oh, I need to. Oh God, it's
I
so
was
good.
sitting
If
in
I
like
still had hair, I would be dying of a stroke right now. If I still had hair, like
It's only a few
I
degrees warmer where I'm at, but I went for a jog earlier, so that made me sweaty.
sweaty
no, my
Vector.
word.
Ooh.
Yesterday I was sitting in like a wool jacket with a beanie on my head, like fur, like shoes on, two
We
pairs of
sympathetic.
socks on each feet, like just dying from cold at 25 degrees Celsius.
So weak he wouldn't survive a month in our homelands, Joffrey.
This
Just a
poor,
month. I
poor.
wouldn't survive a day.
He who has only seen snow on that one mountain he has vaguely nearby that has snow sometimes during a short period of the winter. Right. Influence gain. It said influence. Oh, there's the influence gain. +2 per month influence. Yo. I doubt you have feudal obligations. I doubt you have feudal obligations as a chancellor. I doubt you have feudal obligations as a like a noble family. But oh, I wonder how can you influence your liege to get you to be the chancellor? Because that you need to be the you want yourself to be the chancellor. You need your cousin twice removed to be the spy master. Totally not related, and they totally don't have any influence. I just think he's the best man for the job, truly. But
Pay no attention to all the Lannisters at court.
yes. Robert Baratheon moment. I'm surrounded by bloody Lannisters. Slams table obligatorily. Governors in
I'm gonna
particular.
need my AGOT bloody landed like administrative people. I want to play as a Lannister, and my only building in the estate is a gold mine, and I'm single-handedly funding the
You
entire
don't even
empire.
need a gold mine, right? Lannister shit gold.
Oh, that's true. Honestly, I just need a bathroom. Like, job's
Who,
done.
for real, who made the AGOT map is built different. Well, Jamie made some of it.
Aegon?
He painted
Yeah.
some of AGOT. He painted the Reach and Dorne, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got
That's
like
why
a
that's the
dedicated
bet.
three. They've got like a dedicated 3-man team on the map. So yeah.
But that's why only the Reach and Dorne look half decent, because that's what Jamie worked on. The rest of it's just
Keep the exactly.
Also, I don't know what realms in AGOT would even use administrative government. Valyria's dead, and even Valyria would be a little.
I could see
I don't even
some
know
of
if
the
that
free
would be.
cities. I could see either some of the free cities or Bravos using it. No place in Westeros though.
Yeah.
Yee
Because
Yeah, but when are we getting
China. Yeah.
ET?
Please
By the
don't.
time we're getting ET, we'll have like the entire map of the realms in.
If they ever add Yi Ti, they need to remove like every barony from Westeros.
I mean, it's true. They've got so many baronies. Even strong computers are going to struggle once they get to ET.
I can barely
Yeah,
run the
they
game.
might make half as many. On
If
one hand,
they
the
add
map is
Ye-
super cool, but why so many baronies?
Because
I just want
Lannisport
the Empire
needs
of
to
the Dawn.
have 8 baronies. It
I
needs to
just
do.
want them if they get ET in, and because I think ET is where the Empire of the Dawn was, or at least it was included in the Empire of the Dawn. I need my House Dane and the Empire of the Dawn fan theory connection in. I need to be able to form the Empire of the Dawn as the House Dane and just rule over Westeros. And what's the entire like world called in AGOT? It's like after a plant or something.
Planetos.
Planetos,
Planetos. That's the
yeah.
bad name. I like
yeah,
it.
sorry, not a plant name. It's just Planetos. Okay.
Yeah, it's Planetos.
Look,
Yeah.
we all know that Ashai was the true Empire of the Dawn.
We're
Let's
really
be real.
having this discussion right now. This is see, you've seen it here first, folks. This is why you come. This is why you come to the Joffman stream. You come for Bald Man rants with his friends about everything and anything. Listen, you thought you were here to learn about influence, but no, you were you're gonna learn about the name of the Song of Ice and Fire's world. Also, Aiden, I meant Forgotten City. I always call it the Forbidden City because spooky, but I don't know why I have no idea why Forbidden City is the name that I always end up accidentally saying. Because let me just scoot along before we get sidetracked again. While I've got this chance. Alliances are anyway, Juke. Yeah, alliances are important for every realm and government type, and the administrative is no different. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? So if you manage to secure an alliance, the head of another noble family within the realm, you get influence every month. These stack.
Wow.
So the more alliances you have, the more influence you'll get. Allied with top liege, you're a governor. Allied with house heads. Yeah. Okay. Cultivated sophistication. What? Some other modifiers here we haven't mentioned. And he's allied to the top liege, just allied to everyone. You must produce many babies. I think this is the lesson that I am learning from here. You need to produce many babies, and then marry them to everyone.
Oh no, orthodoxy is a monogamous faith. Surely there will be some way to produce more babies for marriage.
Huh. How can I produce more babies if it's a monogamous faith and I can't divorce? So we've got estates, mansion, level 3 mansion, number of internal upgrade slots +2. Each level of this building increasingly reduces the success chance of raid, estate, hostile scheme. Huh.
We can fucking SWAT our enemies, dude. We can call the fucking SWAT team on our
Armed and ready. What is that called? I forget what that video is called. There's a specific name for that video where like the SWAT team is like breaking in through like all the like the doors and windows and just harassing this random family.
Joffrey, you're a streamer. How come you haven't been swatted yet?
Because everyone universally loves me.
Guys, if you like Joffrey and you want him to become more popular by getting into the news, now is your chance.
I will end you, Duke. Don't. I will buy a ticket to Hamburg any like it just. It's
Here's the home address.
You're somewhere in Germany. I don't know. I think.
Yes.
None stop Joff's sinful hand.
No.
Joffrey is the weird one out in a talk with 3 lead devs. Yes, I am. No, Duke's weirder than me. Don't you? How dare you insinuate that I'm more weird than Duke?
How dare you? How dare you insinuate I'm weird for building furniture out of human bones in my free time?
Yeah. He's way stranger than me.
Oh, actually, something. Sorry, I wasn't listening for like half a minute, but I don't know if you answered. Sorry, I was like answering like a few dev things, but Prince of Darkness brought up something interesting, which I was talking about earlier in the in our dev channels on will realms and AGOT be changing the graphics of estates and camps screen buildings, since apparently they're seriously considering they have to, and obviously for them they have to because I would assume Spark says that they're too bright, which kind of makes sense. I mean, you just look at Prince of Darkness.
Honestly,
Oh, because it's supposed to be spoopy. Pod needs
Yeah,
to make
I
it
feel like
spoopy.
I feel like this one could even fit if you just literally make this one darker and like only make the parts that are lit up like you put this
Yeah.
into nighttime mode.
That shouldn't be that hard for
Yeah.
you folks to change. I can't see any reason why realms would need to adjust the vanilla ones. Though I'm
I
sure.
don't think we'd need to adjust it. It's just I was talking earlier. I was primarily just Bryce and Vector commenting on it, but for humans, I mean, this is obviously just fine. Like, I don't really care. But for like our different races, like a dwarven estate, right? This doesn't look like a dwarven estate. I mean, like
What do you mean,
some of these
Jaco?
dwarves are like looking awfully tall for a dwarf.
Well, are
And
you implying
like
that there's?
elven estate and so
Oh, I
forth.
was
So
about to bring up the fact that this dwarven estate is above ground. I wasn't.
oh, I mean that's true, and it's like how cool would it be if we had like a hobbit estate and it's just bloody hobbit holes lining the hills, like that would be. Oh Lord,
I
but
could
yeah, no,
genuinely
it's
imagine hobbits being perfect for this.
How
Like you build a little
true.
hobbit
I
hole.
think it
how the
was something
heck
that
I had heard that you still can't play as a baron, but you can play as these just unlanded estate
Wait,
people
what?
in a realm.
yeah,
God damn
yeah,
it.
they say
It should be
say
noted,
that
though. It should be noted. They say specifically this is only for administrative governments in vanilla, and we can change it if we want, but this is mainly
yeah.
intended for
Uh,
those guys.
they also say, and this might be how they handle a job, but only house heads like can interact with the estate. So if you're a house head, you have an estate. Otherwise, you don't have an estate, even if you're part of the same dynasty. Like you
Well,
benefit from the house head's like estate or whatever, from what I can understand, but you can't change anything in it, and you can't play in it. So
Vector, Dark is in the chat, and he's talking about the truly most important estates. Yes, the Druidane. Yes.
It's certainly a choice.
Mm-hmm. Well, we gotta have those Druidane camps. I don't know enough to speak to the. Oh, is it drop? Is YouTube dropping again?
Drop
no,
it.
you're still alive.
I dared to adjust my phone's positioning, and I think it shat the bed for a moment. Well, I think that's enough viewing this image of this as that estate, though. Guest chambers. Personal scheme success chance goes up and influence. Yes, the mansion provides just flat influence, which is really good. And then, yeah, percentile increase to influence as well. Murex fisheries? Oh, it's a fishery on the Mediterranean coast. Is this not? This is a
No,
holding thing.
yeah,
This is something in like an
yeah,
actual
yeah.
holding. Huh.
I was gonna ask how are you gonna make it so that building buildings is now worth it if you can just build your little estate instead?
Well, from what I understand, it's kind of split between the two. At least how I would do it from like some of the bonuses they show in like later screenshots. The mansion itself can give pretty hefty bonuses, but nothing compared to the level of like just counties that you've upgraded, like
Fair enough.
to like max level. So
Ooh, yeah.
I
Also,
probably like out of a gameplay perspective, I would view it as a really good helping hand, the estate now, as a really good helping hand for extra economy, extra influence, whatever, in a specific area, because they do highlight somewhere that basically you can tailor the estate to your character, because a lot of the buildings will give specific bonuses like extra influence or extra gold, extra scheme success chance, learning experience, etc. So I kind of view it as like that just extra push into a certain direction that you want your character to do. Whereas counties will just overall a lot more beneficial, but in an administrative government also be a bit more volatile in terms of actually being able to hold onto said titles.
But more importantly, why are snails? Why do snails give you influence?
Well,
Jocko,
I'm the snail now.
why is this? What
I
did
am
you?
just
Yeah, what did you
I
do?
am just that
Jaco, what are you
powerful.
hiding from us?
I am just that even a mere offspring of mine carries enough influence that you just get passive influence. I was about to say like if you sell them off, but that
Oh,
just sounds cruel. So I'm just gonna
the
headcanon it as
dye, the
oh yeah,
purple
I knew that.
dye. That makes sense. Yeah, they're not saying it in like the first tier of it. They're not explaining.
Yeah, okay.
Ah, they give you psychic powers. That's true. Ah,
Mm,
I
mm,
didn't think about that.
yes, indeed. That's how I hope is gonna happen tomorrow at my exam. I'm gonna have psychic powers.
Hmm.
And
Good luck.
just thank you.
Truly, Eldberg's special fish and chips that should also give him influence in the
This
hypothetical dwarven
this
empire.
this Murex fishery should only be buildable in Nogrod and only by
Yeah.
Elb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you achieve like the topmost level of it, you get a hidden localization in your empire called Eldberg's Fish and Chips. And if you're a friend of a hobbit, this has to happen now. It is too perfect realms lore to abandon.
Right. Spending influence. Demand council position. Oh, okay. Now that we know how to get influence, the next question is naturally becomes what do we do with it? Plenty, in fact. First and foremost, influence is a key factor in securing governorships, both for yourself and your family members, by investing in succession candidates. I'll come back to how this works later, but you will generally use it to climb the political ladder in different ways. For example, demand council position. Administrative vassals have the option to request a council position by spending influence. It will cost you a fair bit, but there are ways to reduce this amount. You also have the option to demand a council position with the use of a hook, which is significantly more cost effective since you will gain some influence once you are on the council. Oh, he can decline it as well. Yes, of course. Makes sense. Interaction. Forced to join faction. Forced to join faction. Oh.
Literally running a
Oh.
mob here.
Oh gosh.
I'm honestly so
Oh.
happy for this. It is probably one of my biggest complaints with factions. Whereas, if you want to make a player faction and your liege is like generally fine, but you want to revolt against him, no one wants to join you. And it's like you need to get a strong hook on someone. And if you're like a diplomacy character or a martial character, it's like, well, wait until you die and go play with your child because
This
you're never getting a strong hook.
this is fantastic. Oh.
What the
I
fuck?
bet you could totally, through this, you could probably just take over the empire by, it's probably feasible. Difficult, but feasible. There's probably a way you could manage to take over like an administrative empire without ever actually holding land. You'd never hold land yourself, but you spend influence, you get put in the right council positions, and you get claims and through marriages and such, and then eventually you have a person who has a claim to the throne, and you have everyone vote. You just force everyone to not necessarily, I guess, not vote, but you could spend influence on that too for candidates of the succession. But there's probably a few ways you could do it then. You hate this. Wait, me lagging? I shouldn't be lagging right now. It says I've got good. Or what do you hate? You I don't know what you're saying. You hate? Are you saying you hate forcing to join a faction or what? You really think this should be dependent on a chance similar to demanding conversion? So instead of force, it would be like influence to join faction, and they'd have a chance. That's fair. Um, Propose an alliance. Ooh! Wow! I really hope we can steal some of the stuff for Thani Hazard somehow without having to make them just a big old administrative empire, because we couldn't do that. We couldn't make them an administrative... How can we steal some of this for it? That's the question. We'll have to see once we get our hands on it. Petition liege. For characters in administrative government, the decision to petition your liege costs influence instead of the usual prestige. Makes sense, makes sense. Bolster governors. You can put your influence to good use by aiding your governors, while also granting you some opinion in the process. Bolster governance. Divert resources, so you cost... Yeah, okay. There's more estates information. Oh, God! Oh, God, this is gonna be just a whole thing now. Ooh. Okay. Pomenos estate. An estate with several buildings constructed and upgraded. Oh, boy. Guard lodgings. Estate, market square, monastery, fermenting vats. Ooh, and you build more. Oh, so you probably start with just an estate, build it like a manor house, and then you build more structures that you can choose in the region. I do agree with that exactly, where I think that sounds like a good idea. I actually really like that idea the more I think about it. Both you exactly and Trig, what you're talking about with this like spending a varied amount, where if you spend a lot of influence, it would be, you could make it a guaranteed, like they just don't have a choice. Is because of, the abstraction of you were such an influential person that you playing your whatever cards you have to get this person to do it, they don't really have an option. I like that idea, but then you could spend just a bit, just be like, oh, with this bit of influence, hey, would you be interested in joining this faction? Here's my little influence capital. But I do agree with what you're saying now. It's a not too significant amount of influence. It's like, that was like 90 to get someone to join a faction or something, I think. Maybe it was 200, that's probably a decent amount. But a lot of this stuff is like, you can do a lot of things without spending necessarily too much. It's just, I don't know. Took us a while until we were settled on the final art style. We went over a few options before we decided upon what you see above. A style inspired by medieval manuscripts. Not only does it look great, but it has a lot of quirkiness to it. Very quirky, not like the other manuscripts. Perspectives are slightly off, or people may have odd postures, etc. More or less what you'd expect from actual medieval illustrations. We opted for this art style over reusing the previous style found in the tournament's interface, as it feels more flavorful and authentic to the time period, as well as being far more flexible for other locations. The buildings you construct all look different from each other, and there are different backgrounds that are dependent on the local terrain. Woo! Where it's located. The backgrounds provide a lot of visual variety. Juki like different backgrounds, yes.
Juki Lakey.
The backgrounds provide a lot of visual variety, but we really wanted to give a better sense of location. If your estate is placed in the mountains, we want the game to reflect that. It gives a much stronger feeling of belonging and immersion. A shout out to the art team for a great job well done. So, Jocko, this is actually really great then, because what you were talking about then, we were having that discussion about a dwarven or elven estate. Well, if it's a dwarf estate, it's almost certainly going to be underground, and we just need to get our hands on an underground background. If we get our hands on that's no big deal then. It's separate. I was terrified when I first saw this that it was a static image. I thought that like That first
Yes.
image we saw earlier of an estate, it's just all of it is one image. That's what I thought. This makes me so glad it's instead a background image that'll be its own illustration in the code somewhere, and then you have different images as well. And we can take these images and adjust them or make our own and such to overlay and be like, if this then that, use these. So that's good. Just put a
Is that
drawing
a
with
dog eating shit?
what?
Is that dog eating shit? Oh no, it's digging a hole, I reckon.
Fair
What if we
question.
What if we just replace every single icon on the screen with
Oh.
that dog? Could you
Oh.
imagine?
It's
Oh,
it's
Dad,
digging
I
a
was
hole.
so
It's
fun-
digging a hole, but you know.
Yeah.
I mean, what if
Imagine those
Yo,
market stalls, those soldiers, replace every single one with this dog.
more importantly, yeah, pay some attention to the other illustration. You've got like this. There's a ladder and they're holding the ladder from a balcony. It's like what nefarious shenanigans are these two up to? But then
Dolphin,
over
you
here,
need to
my
try it out
favorite
for
one
you.
is on the right. This is my favorite one. Behold, true beauty.
Peruvial! Peruvial! She's real!
Oh my word.
Dog
I-
lovers fucking despair. Dog lovers despair. Like, this is your dog. Look. This is the cat.
It's beautiful.
This is true beauty.
Hold on.
I'm gonna leave you all with this image. I'm gonna take myself off. This is going on. This is gonna be going on for a while. I gotta dip to grab my. I got salty. I ordered myself a pizza today because there was a sale on freaking pizza yesterday, but I missed it, so I want to stay instead. And this is going on a lot longer than I anticipated, so I'm gonna disappear for a moment.
Bam. Now the chat is left of us. That's an L.
I am doing something.
Wait, Duke, while you're here, I actually wanted to ask Joffrey this, but since you were here, even though you're busy with something, I want to know because I saw in the OPB video that came out that a lot of people said they didn't like it between estates and the rest of the game because they kind of highlighted in the dev diary where they're like, listen, they don't really want to go with the same art style they did for tours and tournaments. So they decided on this new, like more like how actual medieval history look, or like
I kind of like
artworks
this
look.
art style, but I feel like it would work a lot better if it was like CK2 where it was done unified across all of the UI instead of just in this one specific DLC. And also,
Yeah,
there is the fact that they, there's a good chance they'll never use this style again. And also, I think the Tours and Tournaments one works a lot better for if you're in Central Asia or something. I don't know how much effort they're gonna put into making these very European looking stuff look good, even if it's like in the desert somewhere. I mean, they're gonna change the terrain, but are they gonna change the illustrations?
How will this work in China? Is China gonna have these same images? Will it be like, yeah, now we will use since we don't have like a sufficient artwork of like, I don't know, like what do you do in West Africa? What do they have?
Exactly.
I don't know. What does Ethiopia have?
There's a good chance they'll just not do anything.
I'm willing to bet that it's like it's just the same art style, but they just have like different dudes, like they're just like based on your culture, like just black guys instead, because if you're in Africa.
I'm not
Honestly,
real. I
I
think
don't
this is just gonna be identical, considering they're currently only. It looks like they're only gonna use this for administrative / business
Byzantine.
team, to my understanding. They're not gonna
Yeah,
adapt
yeah,
to anyone else to use.
Yeah, I was.
And, they're
say
gonna
what
give
you
us
said
models the option,
because-
but I don't think they're planning on it.
Oh, they
doing
better. Oh, it would be so
Oh, no,
annoying if you
actually-
make like an administrative government in goddamn India. You unite India and make it into an administrative empire, and then it just
I don't think
has these frickin' Greek boys up there.
I was
Yeah,
under the
it's
impression this
they
was supposed to be specifically only for the Byzantines.
The Byzantines are the only ones to start with it. However, anyone can make their own later on.
Oh, I see.
administrative government.
I
Actually, now
feel
I
like it's
think
probably
about it,
gonna be
it's
flavored more.
they like we might not have, you might not be able to see the art at the start, but we'll probably have it, just considering landless stuff, because landless will obviously be all over the place, and it'd be really weird if you have like a landless adventure in bloody Africa, and you just have these like Northern European looking ass like fur trappers in your estate. So it's I'm assuming we'll at least have the art there, because yeah, I agree. It would be really, really stupid if it's like, if they made that provision for landless, but they're for like estates, they're like, we'll just have Greeks. Like that's the only culture we need to do it for.
Imperial Shire Rise of the Baggins Basilius. This is you may be Spark it was Mr. POD. You are one of the best people I've seen at just spontaneously inserting shit posts into a stream chat that I've seen since Juke, and that is saying something. Like, you are good at this.
Can we ban this person? Can we ban this person? They're almost as funny as me. I don't like that. Can we perma ban them?
That's a good point. You, after all, being one of my stream moderators, I think I think we should ban the Princes of Darkness on YouTube.
Oh, I just noticed they have wait. Do they? Oh, they use different arts in all of the examples. So if you put them side by side, if you put all of the examples of the estates side by side, they look completely different.
They're talking about the art style, backgrounds, administrative realm, families. The nobles that really matter, their houses. Each house head will have access to an estate, which is a representation of the family's overall wealth and any small tracts of land they may own. While a noble family might not hold any governorships, they are still influential nobles that own a significant amount of real estate. The purpose of the estate is twofold. It gives you a powerhouse you can rely on at all times, acting as your home and the place where your character resides when you don't have any other titles. Secondly, it exists as a means of progression, one that you can tailor to suit your own needs and playstyle. Estates grant you access to a whole bunch of buildings and upgrades, providing you with various bonuses, unlocking new interactions or decisions, and improving your existing toolbox in various ways. It is, without a doubt, one of the primary sources of increasing your influence.
I like that Monty Python reference.
Okay, you know what exactly? You're right. You're right. James and Bella are both pretty darn good at saying out of pocket stuff just to get a reaction out of me. You're not wrong about that. Some vampires just like to see the world burn. Don't do it. I'm not even gonna say what you're speaking of in case so that Vector need not know. As you're saying, different examples of, mind you, these are still Greek guys. This is still like, they're not showing us examples of a.
Oh,
God damn it!
okay. Just there, died for a sec.
Yep. It straight up just died. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this. Yeah,
it's back again.
Yeah, Trig, it's normal. This is a normal thing that's been happening for me over the past couple weeks, and I don't know why it's happening, and no one else in this house seems to know why this is happening either. I suspect it has to do with the fact that someone thought it was a brilliant idea to replace the Wi-Fi router, so it might be that the new one just sometimes, and by sometimes, okay, I'm taking this sweater off the back of my chair. I'm roasting. It might be that this new router just has like a 50% chance of every day just being like, oh, on this day I'm going to just not work. I don't know. But then it seems to be that I'm the only one who has problems with it, so I really don't know. I need to figure out what's wrong. But I don't know how. I don't know how. Househead can ask for knights through the request househead interaction. Reduces the success chance of the hostile raid. I wonder how often it is that people are just going to try and raid your estate Italian style. Like, rock up. And just beat up that other family. Oh, it's those guys! It's the Twiddlywigs! Oh!
That'll be interesting to say the least.
You get your, in Fair Verona where we set our scene, you just rock up. Like, oh, crossing the street, it's those guys! Fight them! And then burn their house down!
Joffrey,
No.
look at this. Look in general.
Oh, you took an image of the cat. You made that a Realms in Exile emoji. Really? I don't know. I don't know, man. But you do you. Well, I know I'll be using it at any rate. Alright. Estates can become quite powerful on their own, so they are restricted to one per family. Owned and controlled by the house head, mind you, one per house, so there can be another house can have them in the same dynasty. The auditory surely won't survive the raid on their estate. No. In fair Hobbiton, where we set our scene, the Baggins invited the Sackville Baggins to a murder feast, securing the empire. Yes, you understand. Similar to how only the dynasty head can pick and unlock dynasty legacies. One of our primary goals is to provide you with plenty of options as to what you can build. But buildings should also have a certain degree of synergy with each other. As you consider your options and what to build, we want you to be on the lookout for how buildings and upgrades complement each other. Yeah. All right, that makes sense. I think the manor said that it allows more. Like, the more you upgrade the central manor house, it allows you to make more buildings. So you gotta... It's like you gotta build up the tree so you can make more branches. Yeah. There are two distinct types of improvements you can make within your estate. The first is buildings. You have one building slot dedicated to your villa or mansion, which is a bit special, as you will always start with this building on at least level 1. And you can never demolish it. Can't just tear apart your house. Oh, wow, I'm sad. Aside from your mansion, you have 6 slots in total which you can construct whichever available buildings you want. 2 of these slots are available from the get-go, and then you'll unlock additional slots with every level of your mansion. You'll have 2 slots on level 1, 3 on level 2, and so on, until you reach the maximum of 6 slots at level 5. There are plenty more buildings available than you have slots, so you'll be forced to choose which you want to build. Buildings can easily be replaced by whichever you want, though, so you won't be stuck with anything if you ever change your mind. It won't cost you anything to replace a building other than the gold it requires to construct the new building. I mean, that is a cost. It won't cost you anything. I hope it doesn't cost me more than the gold. Your choices won't end there, however. Some buildings, but not all, have multiple branches where you can choose to specialize your buildings further. Branches often share some effects from the base levels before it splits into separate branches, where they go on to provide slightly different bonuses revolving around a similar theme. Well, there goes again with the branches analogy I was making. Monastery. Commission icon decision. Stables mansion. I see. Monastery, level 4. Interesting. Wonder what these different things are. Very curious. It's the way every holding in CK3 should work, with every building having different branches. I feel inclined to agree. That would be very interesting.
Wait a minute.
I don't
That
know.
wasn't a funny song.
Yeah, I know that would completely change how we'd need to handle the dwarf buildings, but I mean, you know. Woo! Shrine building with different branches. Nice. Warehouse building.
Bring out the cat's head.
Large warehouse. Wonder what the other distinction is. So a granary, maybe, specifically? Building construction cost. Oh, God. Building construction cost is a powerful modifier.
It is, yeah, that is really powerful.
No,
actually.
Trig, it would not be a nerf to the dwarves. That would buff them. Second type of improvements for estates are building upgrades. Unlike buildings themselves, these are built inside of existing buildings. For estates, upgrades are available in the mansion. The mansion has a limited number of upgrade slots available. You'll have access to 2 slots from the get-go, and you will gain more slots as you upgrade your mansion. When your mansion is brought up to level 5, you'll have no less than 10 upgrade slots to fill as you please. Okay. Building upgrades. On side of the existing buildings. What? Oh, so it's that the fact that the mansion here are those. There's subsections of the mansion itself. Oh, God. That's what it means by internal upgrade slots. And domicile building slots. Yeah, holy shit. Ah. That's crazy. That's a lot of different options for different, yeah. Wow, so many different options for different ways to play the game. That's crazy. Building examples. Oh, we got a little image of someone having it open here. Let's look at another few examples of what you can build and what type of effects you can expect. Your mansion can be upgraded with a library, in which the primary focus is on the learning lifestyle. This particular upgrade has 2 distinct branches available, one of which ties in nicely and is dedicated to education, improving your court tutor position and allowing your children to get rank 5 education. Oh, God. They introduce rank 5 education and they're like, here's like an infinite ways you can just get it at the beginning.
Wait, what?
I
didn't listen, what?
So, you're going to be able to make a manor upgrade that is a library, and the library has a branching path that is specifically for court tutors, essentially, which if you upgrade that to the maximum, children educated in your court may gain a rank 5 education trait.
Oh, Lord.
And it makes your court tutors cheaper and better.
I mean,
so you take that and then combine it with the Dynasty Legacy. That also gives you the ability to start with level 5 if you're lucky.
I mean, I'm happy they're tying in, new incoming content with existing content.
Yes,
because it does help to kind of tie in that whole thing of tying in mechanics to other stuff in the game.
I am not unhappy.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny.
It's
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 like
just
the moment there's
yeah.
like tier 5 education, just every DLC has to have something about tier 5 because it is the mega ultra OP way to play the game.
And this is why I see I was okay, the reason it's like, wow, this is crazy, because it really is just like, as soon as they add a feature, they just expand on it with new DLC. And that's a good thing. I made it sound like this is okay, here we go, they added a feature and they're just going to make it no, this is a good thing, because with the biggest, one of my, okay, I've got a lot of problems with the U4. One of my biggest problems with the U4, I love it to death, but it's got so many problems. One of my biggest issues with it is the way that they handled the DLC, because the way, and Johan has admitted it, the guy, developer of Paradox Tinto, he just straight up has said that a lot of the times that they've made DLC for EU4, it's quite simply been, what's a new thing we could get people to pay for? Like, what would they pay for? So, oh, here's something new. I don't know, toss it in. Whatever. But CK3 is building itself. It's not a pyramid scheme. I know I'm going to describe it like a pyramid, but it's not. I'm not saying it's a pyramid scheme. Trust me. It's because they're laying a foundation, and then as they expand the foundation, they'll add more on top of it. And so they keep expanding how wide the foundation of the game is. You can't see my hands, but they're expanding over past the camera. So they're expanding the foundation ever further, and then they build up on top of it. And that's really cool, because this, for example, is another case of them adding these estates, and they're going to be landless gameplay, and then the administrative government. These are all things that are not like, these are like a lot of expanding the baseline that you can build up and off of to make the game just a much more rich and interconnected experience in general. Anyway, I'm very happy. You're happy.
Oh my word. Someone
But-
has already made a Tevildo emoji out
What?
of
No
the bloody
way.
cat.
I can't
The
believe it.
screenshot
What?
that
Oh
Jeffrey
my
showed.
god.
Yeah, who on
Who
earth
would
could
do
have made
such a
that
thing?
emoji?
Wait, was that you? Oh my word.
I wonder who did that.
Who could this have been?
It was Juke. It was Juke.
It was me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
The days of knowledge have begun. Yes, Hendrix. Well, we need to let people get multiple education traits. Multiple education traits, no. That would make the game more fair and reduce stat bloat. You're right. After all, you could just read different books to get other educations. That makes so much sense. Oh my god. That totally wouldn't destroy everything and mean that we would in Realms need to be like, well, alright, Sauron, I guess you need the other 2 education traits we haven't already given you. Wait, or does he have 3?
I think Sauron should have a hard lock, the seducer trait.
He's not good at seducing anymore. I mean, I appreciate the reasoning behind it, but like it would serve no purpose. Especially since he can't even.
I mean, hey, some people enjoy my formless boy Sauron, okay? Like that's a king for some people. Don't king shame.
Oh yeah,
Formless
Gandalf is
boy
the one that's
Sauron.
got 3. That's right.
Yeah, Gandalf's got the seductive trait. I think
No!
that was a
No!
Ooh.
After all,
Anyways,
this is an
continue.
RP-focused game, and balance and strategy has much lower priority. Ha 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 ha. You're right, exactly. You're right. Yeah, Gandalf's had 3. Since, like, I don't know which ones they are, but I mean, probably just not intrigue. That's the big one that he wouldn't have.
Martial intrigue and something that's not him. Martial
It's
intrigue
easy to
and
forget that he's in.
Master.
The mansion can also be upgraded with a wine room, which in turn upgrades to a wine cellar. Woo! The seller unlocks a new activity option for the feasts. Ah, allowing you to spend some gold to gain influence for every guest attending your feast. Yes! Each level unlocks a corresponding level for the activity, allowing you to spend more gold for a larger amount of influence gained. Feasts are no longer just a means of gaining prestige and opinion, but become a much more central tool as you attempt to gain more and more influence.
Oh, I really hope this isn't a bloody funeral legitimacy issue that we're gonna have. Because funeral at the moment, it's like, oh yeah, my like one like cousin that I didn't care about at all died. Yeah, I'm gonna hold his funeral, and oh, now I'm level 5 legitimacy. Everyone knows I'm the rightful ruler because I held one funeral for my drunkard ass nephew that was so stupid he didn't get above like tier 2 education.
That's
It's like
silly, Jocko. What you're supposed to do is hold the funeral for piety.
Lord, no, no, no. Disgusting. Piety, I just do a pilgrimage. And if I get good
But
events.
you see, Juke is such a precious boy. You know, Juke, you're so
Oh.
precious that you know, you're just such a I just love you so much. I want to squeeze you really tight sometimes, you know, because you added a
Thank
pilgrimage band to a lot of faiths. So whenever I want to play them, it's like, ha ha ha. This unreformed faith with pilgrimage band. This is so fun. Until funerals were added, and now I can just bury my
Oh,
second
true.
cousin, and I can get
Yeah, you
piety
just-
and do that.
You make some extra cousins in preparation, and then they all suffer unfortunate accidents.
Make some extra cousins in preparation.
Well, yeah, you know, you're gonna tap that on. Look, all I'm saying is, if you're a middleman and you get that Numenorian wife, you can still tap that 2 generations down the line.
With Intrigue 5 Education, you could use the Wine Room Internal Manor slot to unlock the Cask of Amontillado scheme for a proper lasagna
Did you
spaghetti.
just say you don't speak pizza?
That's correct.
I don't speak the
That
pizza
took me
pop.
that took me like 3 seconds to like just like understand.
Amontillado. I don't. Amontillado, Montresu. I don't speak it. Read a book. No, I don't like reading.
Why don't you read some
Wiki.
witches?
I'll save that. I'm gonna save that link.
Wait, what?
Short
Which one?
story. Oh, it's a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, actually, I might read. Okay, what is it? Unnamed Italian city, carnival time, fatal revenge on a friend who believes insulted him. Okay. All right, thanks. The Druidane cousin funeral grind. Oh, remembers exactly what I'm referring to. Tog is here. Yo, I'm getting all the devs from different mods in here. What is this?
What is this, ModCon?
Truly, I
No,
am the
joke.
mod con of Dev Diaries.
I don't want to be that guy, but I don't like talk with any people outside of our mod. Who's Tog? Who's he the dev
Oh,
of?
he's from Gunnersha.
Joffrey, can I
Okay,
post
okay,
the
okay.
elf
I
bottom
assumed
emote
so.
on your channel?
You can post stuff in my channel, I guess.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Uh-huh. Hey, I'm not looking at it right now, so other people are the ones who have to deal with it right now. It's not my problem yet.
True.
The Vineyard building gives you Influence gained from the wine room building line. Oh god. So you gotta. Alright, yeah. So you make your the Melicinos family homegrown grapes. Homegrown and pressed grapes. And then they store it in their own cellar, and everyone can come to have some nice wine tasting together and give them influence, yes. And finally, after 2 hours, we arrive at the end. Modding. As per usual, you can expect estates to be highly moddable. Changing, removing, or adding buildings is easy to do. Directly in script, you can add as many levels or branching options as you want. Icon and graphics can be easily adjusted as well, as you set these per building. You can, for example, see how we use unique icons for each building branch in the screenshots above. Yes, exactly. Any character modifier works out of the box, and these are applied to the owner of the estate. For anything more complicated, we've enabled the use of parameters. Ooh! Much like those we have for cultures and faiths. Oh gosh! Oh, I'm all cheesed up at this. You can even set up new types completely separate from our administrative estate to be used however you like. We can't wait to see what you come up with. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, if it really is that easy for us to make our own estates, then Hobbit estates easy then. That'll be easy to just like, Hobbit estate. You just have them.
Oh yeah, true. That last line. You can even, yeah, it's. I'm very excited for Hobbit Estates in terms of how we can represent, like, usually groups that we couldn't represent or specific characters we couldn't represent. Yeah, like Hobbit, like specifically something like Bag End for something, right? With what's his name, Bulbo, representing him and so forth. That could be a really interesting way to actually showcase Bag End and it's somewhat but more of a prestigious location and so forth.
It is time for us to bully Vector to let us have a Stour manor. We can have a Stour estate in the Vale. It must be done. Well, that was very long. That was very long, and I don't even know at this point. Is it even worth, like, I don't know. Is there any energy left to be looking at dev responses?
There are so many. There are so many. There is. I'm like scrolling through it now. What is this?
Read dev comments, do it, no balls. Conglomerated into one. This is reserved by the community team for collecting developer responses and logging notable updates made to admin between this dev diary and the release of the Rose to Power. Oh! Already decided the Shire Imperial reforms. Yes, exactly. The rise of the Baggins Basilius.
I mean, honestly, what we really just have to do is make a submod that just combines pod and realms. Then we can finally tell people they can run realms and pod together at the same time.
Oh my god, yes.
See you later, Trig.
Let's do it.
Have
Make
a good
the
day.
two mods kiss.
When will we get that one modder that just combines every total conversion? When can we have ACON realms and pod and EK2 all just combined into one?
DSS1 added the Numenorians to Elder Kings, and you also added them to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So that means we already got the triple connection going.
The estate does not own any land directly on the map. The estate does not own any land directly on the map. Not like a barony does, which is what I think you're asking for here. It said the estate still very much has a location on the map itself. You can see a pin on the map in a few screenshots which indicates where your estate is, similar to how we show character locations at the map pin. You can freely move your estate as well to any valid barony within the realm. I imagine that costs a lot, but...
I get triggered whenever I hear the word estate, because it makes me scared that they found us. The estate.
Alliances are still something we want to look into improving. What else is administrative on the start? It's just... Wait, what? This information will come in the next dev diary, but I thought they said that it was specifically Byzantium.
Guys, go to tolkienestate.com and tell them about a cool mod.
No, don't do it. Do not.
Tell them about all of the cool mods.
The Elder Princes of Realms in Throne Shurja is coming soon. Thank you, Dark.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Elder Princes of Realms in Throne Shurja.
This does make me wonder because Joffrey, we talked about this like a few weeks before his dev diary drops, but this does make me wonder what exactly will be DLC locked, because obviously things like the Byzantine throne room will be DLC locked. Like I think that's a no-brainer. But will estate and estate art be DLC locked? Because it's very weird because all of these things just sound very intrinsic to Byzantine. Like you can't have an administrative government without estates. Estates you can't have without administrative government. So it's making me a bit worried in terms of how they want to DLC lock things. Because I do remember in one of the previous, not dev diaries, but one of in a dev like blog respond or something, they did say they were a bit they were a bit weary of how much things weren't DLC locked in Legends of the Dead, simply because people then expected the paid like content to be a lot more. So I'm expecting them to have a lot more content DLC locked for the Roads to Power to make it actually worthwhile buying Roads to Power.
I think people have kind of shot themselves in the foot with how much people were complaining about about Legends, being like, "Oh, Legends aren't great; they're so bad." And it's like, but look at everything else it added.
Exactly. There was so much free shit.
Yeah, and I mean, irrespective of the quality of all of the stuff they added, they did add a bunch of just free crap we didn't have before.
People complain about the royal court. It's like, oh, I don't really like the royal court. It's like, I don't really care to use it much. The culture rework and shit.
Which was also paid. But honestly, I like the culture stuff way more than the royal court in retrospect.
I think people like Tours because it was a lot more prominent in your
Tours
game.
was perfect. Tours was precious. I love Tours.
But I think also Tours was like in that very unique position where like they did something unique where, you know, like the paid content was for the like anyone could do the paid content and anyone could have access. And like, okay, wait, let me put it better. Every ruler had access to the free content, and if you bought the DLC, everyone had access to the pay. A count could do a grand tournament if you were a really bloody rich count. If you're an emperor, you could do a tournament. Whereas, and I think that placed it in a very unique position, and I don't think a lot of people realized it, but not every DLC can touch on a mechanic that is so universal to every ruler. Eventually, you will end up with a mechanic that has to be region locked, or not has to, but it makes that region a lot more interesting than other regions. Because I mean, this is obviously just a kind of a basic understanding that if everyone has access to everything, no one is of more interest than a particular spot, besides personal bias. right? Whereas if you have like, oh crap, administrative government, the states for Byzantine, like they're doing right now, it is a lot more like, oh crap, I'm playing in a Byzantine Empire. I've got a state, I've got administrative government. Screw playing in France. Why would you ever do that again? Um, so, and that's like a reason why I'm a bit worried that I just think everything Byzantine related might be just locked, and they'll be like, hey, here's landless play. All of landless play will be free. Enjoy it. But if you want any Byzantine stuff, all of that is locked. Because out of their perspective, and I think out of people waiting to buy the DLC, they'll make buying the DLC a lot more worthwhile because it's like, oh crap,
Yeah.
I'm actually buying stuff for the entire Byzantine Empire. It's going to completely change how you play it. Whereas, you know, like let's say theoretically, it's like, oh, it's only cosmetics, like only the, you know, the DDS files, like the Royal Court. Then probably a lot of people that wait for DLC will be like, why buy it? It's like you've got 90% of the content. It's just art that you're missing, and you can probably wait for a mod to do that. So
Tog,
yeah,
Tog, yes. We do in fact know that anyone will be able to make yourself an administrative government, which I'm curious to see what the art looks like for people that are not Greek, because we've only seen the Byzantines. But I suppose that's a case of something we'll need to wait for next time. Mm. Yes, Jocko does have a very soothing voice, doesn't he? Yes.
I do. I feel like I'm an edgy teenager that has drank too much coffee. And I'm correct on the too much coffee part.
No one who
No,
describes
no,
themselves
sorry.
as the snail boy could be an edgy, could be also be described as edgy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's like I'm edgy, puts like dark makeup on the snail shell.
Oh god. Yes, you are edgy, darkest light. I'm
It isn't like
sorry.
related, but
You
I
have to
found
be.
another really cool indie animation.
But yeah, the reiterating only one person can. Yeah, you can only have one estate per family. They're not changing Constantinople to be multiple holdings. Shocking. That's never gonna change. And if you are a if you are an administrative person who, if you're an administrative kingdom and you swear yourself to to of the Byzantines, you will just become a part of their bureaucracy, unsurprisingly. I imagine that if you are a feudal ruler who swears to Byzantium, you will remain feudal unless they revoke your stuff. Yeah, but if you became the lightest dark, you would not be edgy. Yeah, that's just how that works. Don't ask why, that just is. That's just the way it is.
True.
Counselors have tasks. You can increase your influence as governor. Haven't added any new counselor tasks. But more on that next week. Okay. Yeah, more on that next week. What happens to an estate if the barony is located and is attacked? The intent is that we'll move it back within the borders of your realm if that happens. We don't want you to lose any progress you've made in an estate if losing the barony is located in. It's loosed without you being able to do anything about it. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. So administrative government can be adopted. Actually creating one. Yeah, all right. So some Han guy in Tibet, very far from Byzantium. Yes, any feudal or clan ruler can adopt an administrative government. We'll go into details. Yeah, next dev diary, they'll explain how you become administrative. Whoop whoop. The estates will be more flexible. Side. We do have a few events revolving around your estate, including the perspective of you being governor. How difficult is it to form? It'll be quite difficult to become an administrative, but we're still balancing this out. So the exact requirements, costs, and so on are subject to change. Either way, we'll go into some details here for next week. Yeah. Next, find out more next week. We'll see. Britain or France becomes Yeah, we do have some name variations. Okay, yeah, they don't have any custom names for people outside of Byzantium yet. I highly doubt there's anyone that starts as admin other than Byzantium at game start.
I would doubt it. But
Oh, that's a male character.
yeah.
I see.
Like maybe the Chinese kingdom in the east, because I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
supposed to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
a subject of China.
Yeah, what are they called again? I don't know.
They have different names in different starts.
Pagan. Or at least
No,
in,
no,
I think
not
in the
that,
8th
not that. The one in the
Oh,
northeast corner of the map.
oh,
That's
oh, oh.
yeah. The pagan is not related to China.
No, yeah, sorry, that's more towards I forgot the country's name.
The place northeast of Tibet is there's a de jure kingdom that's
Yeah.
got lots of Uyghurs and Han people in it, all jumbled up.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, now that we're just talking about like administrative governments and stuff, I I really hope, and this is really me coping so hard.
Oh boy.
Again, I've been coping so hard in like since I read the Death Diary. But I don't know if you've seen in one of their announced trailer, or I think it was in one of their teasers, but they announced their like start date will be like 1180. You can even see it in the screenshots. But I think with the 1180 start date, and I remember I was talking to someone about this. It really kind of sets it up for next year's expansion pack to either be republics or like a um migration-esque thing for tribals, because you've got like the Mongol horde starting in like what 24 years, and the whole of Italy is a republic. So both of those are like prime candidates for just a new like major expansion
Oh,
thing.
see you, Vector.
So cheers, Victor.
Have a good day.
Bye, Victor.
Thanks for hanging out for a long time.
I will use this moment to disappear as well into the bog. I need to go there and survey the bog whites if they're doing their jobs correctly.
Make sure
And
to
if
check
they're
on the peat
luring
moss for me.
unwary adventurers. Yeah. If they're luring unwary adventurers into the bogs like they're supposed to. We need to make a living. Bye.
Hi, Juke.
Cheers.
Juke Bog Monster Man.
But oh yeah, exactly. Right, the nomads and republics in like 1180, because you've got a lot of bloody republics, and you've got like the Mongol horde appearing at your doorstep in 25 years or whatever.
Give us those
So
nomads, give us those republics, and then then they can go over to China. Because we
and
got the
no,
admin
no,
stuff set
first
up, we're
trade.
gonna have the nomads. Logically,
need
we'd have the
trade.
nomads.
They would
Easy.
need
It's
trade.
just bing bang boom.
Listen. Okay. Listen. This is my theory. Okay. Even though our big expansion pack of this year hasn't come out yet, this is my theory for next year's expansion pack. Okay. Next year, either Republic or Nomad, and irrespective of that, we'll have the core expansion. Will be. I'm not sure, but I think it will probably be an expansion on like fuck, I don't know. Maybe I'm also hoping trade, but I don't think that will fit in a core expansion. Because core expansion, I mean, the whole idea around core expansion obviously is like updating old mechanics. Honestly, I can see them doing a Royal core expansion, because they did show screenshots in like back in January, or no, sorry, not back in January, a few months ago, right before Legends of the Dead. They did showcase what the internal team did for December, which was, I completely forgot about my point. Oh yeah, which was like minor cultures and stuff. So I'm hoping the core expansion of next year. Oh, and like them updating Royal Court stuff. So I'm really hoping the core expansion of next year will be either minority cultures and minority religion added, because that was like one of the projects worked on by the group devs, or it's gonna be something that's like modding warfare.
There's
Yes,
there's
yes,
no
please.
there's no way they would do either of those things. What is this? What is this copium, Jocko? What is
No,
this
no, listen,
reason that
listen,
you're
listen,
thinking
listen,
about there being? Could you back up a bit and say like
listen,
why you think that there
listen,
realistically
listen.
could be
Okay, okay,
minority
okay, okay.
cultures?
I do have one sentence on the CK3 Discord, okay? I have one sentence, and
Yeah.
there was a thread started by Uber, like promoting the like different projects that actually get added to CK3. And one of the CK3 devs responded, Trinex, she's one of the programmers. She's like, oh, most of the projects have been stopped. And then what's it called? Thane, lead of EK2, was like most, and then the PDX dev just responded with a like sly smile face. I am smoking some hopium right now, but I am so coping and hoping for minor cultures and faiths.
They ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that.
No,
They
but like think about it. Think about it. Okay, okay, okay. Think about it. Like next year sets it up perfectly. Like after administrative government, into which faiths and so forth tie right. Well, like we were speculating earlier, the fact that it shows your faith could, lead to a bigger chance of being appointed and so forth.
Ooh.
Having minority
J-
cultures and faiths, like, come on,
just as much
come
as
on.
you are coping right now, we've got Dented Ear in chat saying that hoping for a step flavor pack with Nomad government as free stuff, and then Republics and Trade being the paid part of a DLC. That is a big ask, my friend. That is a
Okay, listen.
big ask. They
I'm
would never do
worthless
that at
on
the same
Dented.
time.
I'm worthless with Dented based off of one future expectation, and it really really depends how like in depth these stuff like these systems and mechanics are actually in Roads to Power. Like if we find out later on it's like the like landless estates and like administrative is like really really shitty, there's no depth, then I'm not gonna expect much. But if we do find out like listen, hey, landless on its own, super super amazing, administrative is like a really good bonus on top of that, then I don't see them doing nomads and republics together, but I can see something like republics and trades and or nomad and trade, because both of those kind of deal with trade.
Oh,
So
as separate
I
DLC, I see.
yeah. So
Uh,
I can see that, but it really, really depends on what the quality is for Roads to Power, because they they kind of I think everyone can kind of agree they overpromised in terms of the effect that Legends of the Dead would have. So a lot of people are doubting, like, listen, did PDX do the same with Rose to Power? Is Rose to Power like administrative government just going to be like, oh, press this one button and then vassals do their own crap, you do nothing? Will Landless be, oh, press one button, wait, press another button to collect ward? Okay,
I
cool. Now
think
travel here and so
I,
forth.
I,
So it for me, it's really how in depth are the like individual systems, because the more in depth, the more promise it creates for future DLCs. Personally,
mm-hmm. Especially if the more you speak on this, the more it makes me think that you're correct in that the estates and such will be, they just have to be the free part, surely, because if they are free, then that means that they are going to be used as that like core building block for future DLC, where like the estates, the just existence of estates is free, and then republics come along later, for example, and they make use of it. That the republics is a DLC that expands on and is a specific use case of the
yeah,
estates.
honestly, I could
That's what
see
I
that.
think.
That makes a lot of sense. Out of one, doing what they've been, like doing. We were laughing about it earlier, tying in the DLCs together, and doing it in a way that actually, like, out of like a buying the DLC type of view, it makes the DLC worth it. makes it integrated with existing content, and due to the people then seeing it as worth it buying, makes it worth it for PDX, because obviously, I mean, as a company, you care about getting paid for what you worked on. So I mean, that just makes sense out of their viewpoint. You know, if more people are interested in buying it, more people would logically probably buy bloody DLC. Except if a major uh, like outbreak happened and everyone had to lock themselves in at home and couldn't work. But
When
ignoring
would that happen? That's silly. Such a thing would never
yeah,
happen.
exactly. So yeah, I could honestly see them doing that where you know, if like tying in the states to like something like republics, right? Like I can even see them. I can't see them doing it for maybe you can maybe tie it into nomads, really, right? If you make if like if you like get a weird merge between like estates of having like a bit more permanent buildings and landless of, you know, just essentially you have one camp, you just move around, potentially merging that with like a pseudo tribal government or something, get some weird janky ass stuff out there. You could essentially have some form of nomads or whatever, right? And
Exactly. I don't think Res Publica has been updated in a very long time.
yeah, from what I
We've
understand, it hasn't
tried
been
multiple
updated since like
times. We've tried multiple times to integrate it into realms, but it isn't really feasible,
yeah, it was last updated
unfortunately.
in June 2023. So
Uh, Interestingly, here there's a rule that they're discussing the idea of having a game rule where you can turn certain historical realms into administrative governments. So I mean, like maybe that, for example, is like the HRE.
that'll be
You could just
interesting.
be like,
Oh,
what if the HRE wasn't decentralized and horrible as hell? It's just it's an administrative government. Sure, it just works. It just works.
I do wonder it's because now we're just talking about different realms being administrative, because he did say that, you know, they're considering game rule, but I think in one of the earlier dev responses they say like they'll talk more about other realms having administrative government in the next dev diary. But also in this
Yeah,
dev diary, I think we read somewhere that they said we'd only have the Byzantine would have the administrative government. So I'm wondering if that's just like tying those two things together
that's
for like
probably
because yeah, because from what I saw from the questions that you were scrolling through, there's like two
D-
major ones that people are just considering, which is the
dark, dark.
Caliphate and the HRE.
Dark, we were what we're talking about is how they said that there is only going to be one at game start. The Byzantines are the only one at game start, but you can make them, yes. But they've also said in a comment that they will talk more about about like administrative governments at game start later, like in a future dev diary. And here, right here, what Jocko is unpacking is the fact that, hey, they've said that there would be a rule, that they're thinking about making a rule to make certain realms admin government. So I think what's going on here is that they're planning on having, it's just the Byzantines, but some realms like the Abbasids, as we're bringing up, will have the option, if you toggle a rule, that would make them admin, which is interesting. I like options. Options are fun. Hmm. Mm. Yes, you can. Admin realms can have feudal, clan, tribal, anything else. Other realm types cannot have admin vassals. Well, administrative realms can only exist if they are the head. They're an independent state, I guess. Yeah, makes sense to me. Attack of the next many features are wide, progressively bureaucratic kingdoms. The Plantagenets of England.
Oh yeah, because in the
Oh.
1180, yeah, it's 1180. We do have the Plantagenets, yeah, controlling a part
Hmm.
of France as well.
Scrumptious. Constantinople. There are no current plans to change how duchy buildings work. People salty that they can't make a duchy building in Constantinople without getting rid of the Theodosian walls. Dude, they're really good. Settle down and be happy that you have them. What is this?
Yeah.
What would the themes be then? Uh, themes are the name that the Byzantine Empire uses for admin vassals. They have said that in any country that is not Byzantium, they are just called provinces and governors as their just default localization. You can bet your ass that when I get my hands on it, though, I'm going to give Realms in Exile a ton of new ones because
I so badly, and this will require some like messing around, maybe its own custom government, but so badly want the just Dorwinian to have estates at least. I want them
But
to have
yeah,
estates.
that raises the
Because
question of like how do you handle the estates? Like who gets them? Does everyone in Dorwinian like is it just
wine lords,
like
or no, is it wine lords or merchant lords that are more like less feudal? I think it's
the
merchant lords.
the patricians are the ones that are more like your Italian city merchant families,
Oh
and the
yeah,
wine lords are more like the feudal characters.
yeah.
But
So patricians. So okay, just purely speculating from the little I know about Dorwinian and how
mm-hmm.
I would like it. I don't know what the final design would be, where we'd even use it, but have patricians have estates, have honestly mostly of how currently the administrative government looks, just take it as is and use it in Dorwinian. Um, plus minus a few tweaks, but I feel as if a localization aside, most of it would make sense in Dorwinian, right? Um, maybe finagling a bit the definition on, because currently obviously how the administrative
it
like government functions is the person at the top, your top liege, is the ultimate power. In Dorwinian, in lore at least, realms lore, we have it a bit more like equal, republican, as in
Yeah, that's the thing with
the
Dorwinian, where Dorwinian is not a case of a country, like, it's not an expanding realm that is becoming bureaucratic. It's a half feudal, half republican slash merchant family, like, butting heads thing where it's slowly going through the process of feudalization.
honestly, I would do what you just said. I would just merge administrative and feudal governments. Like toss away the bad parts that we don't like or that doesn't like fit in terms of lore from like both sides. Like administrative government, toss the fact that, like the liege lord is basically the most powerful person. In Dorwinian, it's a lot more, it's a lot more Republican-esque, basically. So
Centralized Kalmar Union, no!
honestly, yes.
No, that's so cursed. That is so cursed. Makes you wonder where they gonna stick the de jure capital, hmm? Where's the Kalmar Union's de jure empire capital? Is it in Stockholm, perhaps? Ba-ba-ba. We'll have to look at Dorwinian stuff, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's no other place. There's no other place it could possibly be than in Stockholm, right? Yeah. Fourth Crusade. That's right! Funny you should mention the Fourth Crusade. I'll talk about that in a future dev diary.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
because I don't know, Geoffrey, if you've seen. I think I showed you, but on their Steam page, they do have a screenshot uploaded of. It looks like you as the Emperor of the Byzantine Empire, reacting like having a special event
You did
for
to show me that,
reacting
yes.
24th. Yeah,
You
reacting
insisted
24th
I look at
Crusade.
that.
Yeah, I know. I remember. So I do hope this is not necessarily a prelude, but maybe a potential for Paradox to look a bit more at Crusades, simply by the virtue of them having a bookmark that's closer to a crusade, because all our current bookmarks are like, sure, yes, there is usually a crusade like a few decades into the game. Like the Fourth Crusade is a lot more prominent in terms of the bookmark when it takes place. I mean, then again, 1180, a lot of crap happens, but I mean, the Fourth Crusade is probably one of the highlighted like features they've shown in terms of, oh look, this is something interesting that happens. Whereas in previous bookmarks, it's like, yeah, crusades exist, but don't join them ever because the AI is stupid. Because they all said water and go in one by one. So yeah, so I do hope this is not necessarily next year, but hopefully a slow improvement on PDX's willingness to look at crusades, because I think everyone agrees that crusades in CK3 is just sad. It's not even like infuriating. It's just sad. It makes me want to dab at my eyes with a kerchief.
Question about Kians? What the? That's not something I expected. Dented, you're asking about whether Kians will get great holy wars and realms. It's not the culture. It's not the culture that gets great holy wars. It's the faith. And their faith most certainly will. A lot of people in that region are going to fall. A lot of countries in that same vague area. It's like the Catholicism, basically, of realms. We're in that Bay of Ormal region. A lot of realms are going to follow. A lot of realms and realms are going to follow that faith, and it has it has great holy wars, and at least I think it does. If it doesn't, then we got to make that a thing. And they do in fact have a head of faith, which will either be a trusted associate, they'll either be trusted associates of the Blue Wizards or the Blue Wizards themselves. We're still trying to figure out how exactly we want to make them function. Though it would be incredibly funny if we made one of the Blue Wizards the fucking head of that faith, which cause that would not be a stretch at all. They're known as the Blue Sages out there.
Yeah.
Stardew will
Yeah,
probably have
it's-
interesting. Sorry. Do you have more to add to that, Jocko, or do you?
No, I'm just thinking because I'm it's just kind of going off my tangent for crusade and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because now I was just thinking because I saw it brought up earlier, or I just thought of it earlier. Like how we were, it was like a month or two ago, talking about Maglor just like crusading to the other end of the world, just showing up with a big elf army. Just shows up at like one object. But
Estate
it would be,
Maglor with his estate, maybe. I don't know.
yeah. It would be really cool when like landless gameplay comes out, honestly, rework the Magor stuff just to be entirely landless gameplay with a big bloody elven army, like after doing all your question and stuff. But sorry, what I
God.
was actually trying like leading up to was what's it called? Oh yeah, Hendrix in chat. But sorry, what I was actually like thinking of with what Dented Ear said. It would be pretty cool if we kind of represent, like the blue faiths or the blue wizards and their like impact on the faiths, because they very much have like a militaristic impact on their faiths of like, hey, listen, if you don't convert, there's a volcano you can jump into. So it's either convert or jump into the volcano. You've got two choices here. So
Blue Wizards be doing some nasty stuff out east over the last thousands of years.
yeah,
At
I
Game
really
Start, for those who don't know, which is probably most people to be honest, because it's obscure knowledge about what's happening in the future of realms. They they are currently in the Third Age start date. They are in the process of destabilizing the big old steppe tribe out in the east. Because a thing that people talk about in relation to the Variags of Khand is that people think that the Variags of Khand are nomads. they're not actually nomads. They live on the steppe, but they're not nomadic. It's quite clearly defined, like where the different factions of them live and fight, and they don't like rove around. They actually set up cities and castles and shit. They just also happen to live on the steppe, and they are a bit of a mix between Northmen and steppe boys. So they're the little bit of like traversing between nomads and not in Realms lore. But out east, past like out into the steppes a good ways, there is a chunky evil empire of just steppe nomadic boys. And that country is in the process of being super destabilized by the Blue Wizards. The two of them are just hanging out. They found a militaristic tribe underneath this empire that is willing to listen to them, and they're starting to whisper all sorts of spooky things to them, so they might destabilize and cause internal strife in this big empire for shenanigans later on. That's is all fun. But yeah, Maglar has no content. Sorry, that's right.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking now, and this is really like 3 years into the future. But it would be really cool whenever we get to it. I'm going to pester Vector to allow me to make a mechanic for this. But have like the Blue Wizards be like playable landless characters, and then actually be able to play them and slowly through. Obviously, you'll have to make it shorter for like so that a character can actually play them. But like, let's say through like 30 years of gameplay, you can subvert an entire faith to be echoes of the Ainur. And then you just like through like the next 5 or 10 years, you just pump up the fervor, and then you're just able to declare a crusade.
You know, it is actually in vanilla. You've got the whole like Basques thing where the Basque faith can change. Maybe if I looked at that code, it would actually be feasible for us to have the Blue Wizards be able to actually just directly change a faith. But we probably don't want them to do that. We probably more realistically we'd want to have a faith that is their version, that is distinctly separate, so that we could have, if we wanted to give you a playable Blue Wizards quest chain, that they would, like, as landless characters, roam around the place and go interact with the heads of certain titles. It would be like the owner of this title, you know, head of this family like you more.
Yeah, the
sort of thing.
biggest like thing I guess would probably have to be done, and I don't know how we'd do it. There's just probably a system for it. It's something that would be really janky, but
that's correct, Entidir.
Yeah, have like them create a new faith, the Blue Wizards, as a version of a corrupted good version of the faith they view as evil.
Yeah.
But via some like jank ass bloody mechanics, we also like generate a script for this entirely new created faith. Because that could be really bloody. Like, imagine, like, instead of having, because currently, like, I mean, generally when people think of creating new faiths, right, we kind of think of like creating a faith in history and then just assigning it to said character, and that's like our quote-unquote new faith. But imagine actually using the script effect to create the new faith, and then based off of the like religion it's based in, the faith, we can grab like localization keys and create a description, a dynamic description. That would be so bloody based.
Highly doubt that's possible.
I'm getting myself so hyped up for this shit that's like gonna be like possible in 3 years.
I highly doubt it would work.
Cool that would be. I will work my ass off for this to be possible. In 3 years, mark my words, I'm gonna have a religion system. I will allow for a description to be generated.
No, Jocko, it's fine. It's fine, Jocko. We can just make the faith exist at game start, and like we could probably make up some way to change its description and its tenants later or something. I don't know. It's fine. Settle down. This is why I told people I was telling people like this sort of thing would happen if I did a podcast thing with you. We would just endlessly waffle on about random bullshit like this. It's like,
Yeah,
uh,
okay, like Prince of Darkness. Yes, you can change the doctrines via scripts, but you can't change the description of said faith. So let's say you've got like your typical evil faith, right? Let's say like cannibalism, like incest, and like more cannibalism. It's sure you can change those doctrines to like, oh, they love trees, they don't have incest, and they love more cheese, right?
that's quite the ellipsis you put there, friend.
That's true. He did. Like,
What's
okay,
the C
okay,
up
maybe
to?
you could have like more dynamical descriptions, but our systems currently for like Spark, I don't know. I don't know who did the original like description for Wave stuff. I don't know if it was Pod or someone else. I think it was Caden. But sorry,
I'm
that's like
pretty sure this
another
is
for anyone who
Spark.
doesn't know.
I think they said that this is Spark we're speaking to right now. If
Yeah.
no.
Well, okay, cool. But the like current system of okay, true. Like Spark, I have thought of that. I've actually thought of actually having a like localization key dynamic. Okay, I say dynamically. It's like Thompson Jank dynamically be generated and stored on the culture using the culture name, so that because currently we use a scripted GUI, which is completely fine, but it's more work. It could just be really cool if that was like done just on game start. But sorry, anyways, like yeah, you could like it'd be really cool if you have like localization, just call a script value. Just descriptions. I mean, true, you can. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand. It's like 12:30 in the morning for me, and I'm writing a test in 12 hours. Okay, we can. But you also need to understand, and this is completely personal. I'm a masochist when it comes to coding. So,
Jocko
like,
is the sort of person who will find something that interests him, and then he has like the risk of just that is just all he is interested in doing at that point.
yeah, like Spark. That's like yes, that's 100% true what Joffrey said. And Spark, what you said, like that was what Joffrey like suggested, and I 100% agree. That is like probably the best approach in terms of just not creating as much. But imagine how cool it would be if you can, because we can already create a script, create a religion through script, right? And you faith through scripts. Imagine how cool it would be if you create a new religion through script, and then you can feed in a custom variable that's like the religion, that's like a target religion and target faith. Like the faith they're basing it off of. It's or the religion probably would be based to base where they base it off of, and then you grab like a generic thing for that religion, and then you can have like stuff grab based off of the specific faith they're targeting, and what tenants they have. So
Y'all are talking some crazy shit. All we need to do, Jocko, is make the description of the faith vague without being more specific.
no. I want that description to refer to a bloody specific character. I want it to refer to a ruler that's the head, like that's the most likely to become a head of faith for that faith, right? I want to be 300 years into my game. I want to look at a random ass faith that the Blue
no.
Wizards created and be like, holy crap,
No.
they were looking at this random ass like they like man and thought he would be the new fake messiah for their faith. Holy crap, this is so cool.
Oh. You're insane, man.
Hey, listen.
Gosh.
I can't do graphic stuff like pod. I can't do 3D modeling. Scripting is my only thing that I have.
And you do it a lot. Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
they've responded so much. They've responded to so much stuff, but I've gotta wrap this up. I need to wrap this up so I can go and I ordered food ages ago and didn't eat it. It's getting cold now. And I wanted to eat something before I play the Forgotten City. God damn it. Hmm. He's got so many dev responses.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Hmm. Sample's already OP. Yep.
by the way, while Joffrey's like scanning for anything interesting to like talk about, for any of the, because I see we've got like people from 2 different other TCs. Are you guys working on anything really cool at the moment that you can publicly say since we're on a stream? Because sadly, as a dev for Realms, I can't speculate on what we're doing for Realms, as I know everything we're doing for Realms. So please tell me something interesting. It seems like Spark is just on his continued mission of making some wacky submods for specifically pertaining to the Shire Imperium. I'm getting
Yeah.
a bit scared.
Radagast the Black, after having seized throne of the Shire Imperium, founds the unified faith of snails and shrooms with himself as the God Emperor. Nice.
Honestly, I can see that. Holy crap, that needs to be a thing now. Surely we make it that if theocracies are ever playable, and Radagast ever tries to make his own faith, it gives the auto-localization of faith, like of snails and shrooms. Not because that will also slightly refer to me.
Independent admin realms can be either kingdom or empire rank. Okay, so you can, in fact, be a kingdom and make yourself an administrative realm. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Okay, that's good to know about, because
How
just thinking of like Dorwinian.
how jank would it be for me to make Bree an administrative realm?
I mean, they do say something about counties in the next post. I can't exactly read it. Yeah. No, sorry, not in the next post.
So,
Sorry, in the next
so
response.
counties won't be administrative. They can be either really. Normally these will be administrative though. Functionality governor. So one of access in every new mechanic. We tend to refer to these as sub-governors. Low-ranked officials appointed by a governor. So yeah, there's no real like. So the game, it's already. I think what's going on here then is that you could make, like you could set up in the code like Bree to be an administrative realm. You could do it. Maybe, or maybe it would need to be a duchy. So you tie it to this. I don't know. It could be. It just wouldn't have like the features of it because it's just a county. So theoretically, we could assign Bree to be an administrative realm, and it just would basically do nothing. It would just be like they exist and they have like the families and such, which would be nice. Juke made a lot of families, so we can try and fit in that way. And then we can have the hostile takeover of Bill Fernie, and then it would actually become like it would use the administrative functions if they become larger, perhaps. So
Amar, I can see us doing. I don't know how many people noticed it for 3.1 or 4.0. Sorry, for 4.0 beta. But
I
when
don't
they released
think...
the like clan like government rework, the amount of clan people like places that had the clan government jumped up with like probably like 150%. So I'm so hard. Like, we're so badly gonna see like as soon as administrative government drops. Like I think we've got like one administrative barony at the moment, or like Republican barony
We have
in our game zone.
we have one Republic Duchy in the southeast corner of Thani Hazard.
Yeah, I can see us so badly just be like when administrative government drops, and if it's free, we're like, yeah, this kingdom administrative, this kingdom administrative.
I
Just like
don't
one over here,
I
one over
don't think
there.
we'd have that many. There's
Okay,
not
sorry,
really
well,
anything that would be, but I know the point you're
I,
making, yeah.
I think we'd have it in earlier ones. I think this is probably really cool. Like imagine going to the last alliance and it's like, yeah, just half of Gondor administrative. Very cool.
I'd have to discuss with Vector, me being Dwarf Man dev. I want to know if Vector would let me. I would be interested. There is a particular dwarven realm, one that's added in Thani Hazard, that I would very much be interested in making an administrative realm if he would be down. So there are examples of places where I would very much be interested in having a dwarven administrative country. It's a hold's called Black Flame, but it's translated to Narag Zarazi when dwarves hold it. Black Flame is what you'd call it in Westeron. I'm pushing back my Forgotten City stream by half an hour because I was supposed to be starting that in 14 minutes, and I need to scarf down some food and finish this up before that. So, I think I finished up everything actually that I'm really interested in reading about. This I'm glad I read to the end of this all though, because oh, that's Humpier Rogue. Humpier Rogue asked that. Oh, well that's handy. Yeah. Yo, my guy. All right. I really should wrap this up though, because as I said, I gotta eat. I gotta calm myself down a bit before I start playing that game, because that is a long and thought requiring game. Brain power. So I shall be wrapping this up here, unless Jocko has anything else he would like to should we discuss before we close this.
Can every TC update the day before RTP drops? So we can force PDX to extend their Roads to Power release date. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Why? Why would... Why?
I'm sorry, I'm just here to cause pain to everyone.
Thank you, Jocko. Right. Well, in that case, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!